Australia have never won a knockout game. Neither have Egypt. They have made the last 16. It is the first time that we are having to deal with the round of 32 in this competition. But one of these two sides will make some history this evening. And if it is tied after 90 minutes, it will go to extra time and penalties, something we have already seen in the games between Germany and the Netherlands, both losing out. And we almost saw it as well in the Belgian game before a late penalty saw them overcome. Senegal, the AFCON final, runners-up in the end. Morocco being the email champions, going out in a very, very dramatic circumstances. 90 seconds into this game, it's Egypt just on the ball inside their own half. They dominated the possession against Iran in the last game, and they came out absolutely frantic, getting that early goal. And then almost chaos ensued up at the other end, the penalty, and then an immediate reply after the save from Chaubert. But early on in this contest, Egypt, they are the favourites coming into it. The last time these sides met outside of an Olympic Games was 2010. Egypt came out 3-0 winners in that friendly game. But they also knocked Australia out and ruined their medal hopes in 2021 in Tokyo, but that was also full of plenty of young players in the squad as well. Egypt just sitting on top of the ball, just on the right-hand side of their own half, and just forced back a little bit too deep at Irakunda, just breaking inside the Egypt half and pushing them back to retreat towards Chaubert in the goal to get his first touch of this game. He had that excellent save, we'll keep mentioning it during this competition. He did have to sit and wait in the dying seconds of that game. Now they'll try and send it down the right-hand channel, looking to try and go over the top of the Australian back line, and Souta's just going to put it out of touch for a throw in deep inside Australian territory. No nonsense defending. He's certainly an experienced defender. It's his 42nd appearance for the national team. He's giant as well, at 2 metres tall. And Egypt, though, quite happy to just get the short throw in and try and move it from right to left. Going to switch it back across towards the right-hand side. Early cross, trying to see it in towards Zico on the far right-hand side of the penalty area, but his cushioned chest down, can't quite find his man. The long ball looking towards Irakunda. Sits down nicely for Egypt, then the second ball falls in towards the midfield for Australia, just looking to get themselves over the top, and he goes all the way back towards Chaubert, who gets his feet in a muddle, and in the end he's just going to put it out of touch over on the far side of the pitch. He was waiting for it just to drop inside his penalty area. He realised it wasn't coming. Irakunda had already stopped trying to challenge him. And if the Watford forward, who scored against Turkey earlier on in the competition, the man born in Tanzania in a refugee camp, had carried on his run. He may have put the keeper under a little bit of pressure on the edge of his own penalty area, and it would have been an early decision for him there. But 4 minutes gone, nothing really to shout about so far. Australia inside the centre circle, going to try and switch the play towards the right hand side, brought back in towards the middle and just held up a nice little ball forward through the midfield. A long range effort, it's off the top of the crossbar, and what an effort that is from Volpato. He's only played 3 times for the national team. With a shot like that, showing plenty of experience on his shoulders, he just picked up the ball. It was a lovely through ball into the midfield. Attia tried to close him down, couldn't get close enough, and with that left boot just tried to aim it into the top right corner of Chaubert's goal. The keeper scrambling across his goal line, and hearts were in mouths of the Egyptians for a moment. The shirts are red and the faces were almost a little bit redder as well, as that ball was a bit of slow motion for them, just clipping off the top of the crossbar. But an early half chance and sighter for Australia there, and that's certainly what they're going to bring here in Dallas. They have the ability. They showed that against Turkey, although Turkey didn't really show too much ability until they were already out of the competition. They did everyone a favour though when they did beat America in that last game of the groups, just to quieten down their fans a touch. A little bit too big for the boots for the time being. But Egypt on the ball again, halfway inside their own half, just trying to push forward into the Australian half, and this time they'll just send a long rangy ball towards the edge of the Australian penalty area. Knocked down to the left hand side towards Souta, who half clears towards Metcalf, who can't quite win the header, but it just falls nicely back in towards Serkati. Retreats back towards Beach inside his own penalty area. Goes with the left boot, trying to send it towards his near side. It takes a little deflection on the way through. Now there's an opportunity for space to open up for Metcalfe down the right-hand side. Trying to take on his man, drives him towards the area, and a superb last-ditch tackle again from Rami Rabia. He did it plenty of times against Iran, just sticking that trusty left boot in. The Al-Ain man, he's plenty of experience on his shoulders, a vocal leader, just steps in after a lovely mazy run. It was Jordan Boss that picked it off. Metcalfe diving in towards the area. And that little flick off Rabia's boot goes out for a corner over on the far side, but just pinching it off his opposite number. And Australia tried to load the box with two inside the 6-yard box, trying to crowd around Subert in the goal, and then Suter coming in towards the edge of the box as well. The absolute giant, the biggest man on the pitch by far, will certainly look to be the target, but decided to go short instead towards the far left corner. Then the swinging cross comes in, but it's blocked by the first man, and it's a rather poor set piece from Australia given the circumstances of having a man like Suter inside the box. What's the point of going short? Just get it in and ask him to challenge that header, because he will win every single one of those as Egypt win it back deep inside their own half. Back towards Subert again. His 13th appearance inside the goal for the Al-Ali man. The majority of the Egyptian side plays in Egypt. Mo Salah no longer without a club after leaving Liverpool at the start of the month. He is now waiting to see where he might go, whether that could well be here in America or across to Saudi Arabia. Another option for him is potentially the Serie A, where for the age that Mo Salah is of 34, it's a Serie A 23 these days. But over on the right-hand side, it's with Mohamed Hani. He's a one-club man. No goal against Belgium. Moves it across towards the right-hand side to bring in Hamdi Fati. Just linking up nicely. They just tried to methodically work it down the right-hand flank. Australia, though, holding the defensive line ever so well, sitting on the edge of their own penalty area. Egypt tried to move it across towards the left-hand side, but Fati decides no, he's going to pull it back towards Mo Salah over on the far right-hand side, whose first-time cross is cleared out by the first man. Picks up the loose ball again, 15 yards inside the Australian half, just off the far touchline, and will bring it back a little bit more central. Bit of slow possession play here from Egypt. Linking up nicely on this near left-hand side with Hafez. Tries to go in for the run and return pass, but can't quite get through that stubborn Australian defence so far. Little ball across towards Hani over on the far right-hand side. Just takes one touch and then brings it back in towards Fati again. His pass is a bit of a lazy one and given away to Australia, who are trying to come out quickly. They're going to play a lot of counter-attacking football, Australia, in this game. And they've won a free kick just inside the Egypt half as well. A lazy challenge from Hani, gave the ball away, then tried to win it back. And in doing so, just took out Jackson Irvine, the St. Pauli man. He's Australia's heartbeat in the middle. He's Sao Pauli's captain as well, over in Germany. A promotion hero, midfield organiser. And he does have a Mo Sislak tattoo as well from The Simpsons. Not too sure what that says about him, but being Australian could say very, very many things. 10 minutes gone then in this game. You can watch the game through your local network provider. Listen to it with ourselves. We'll bring you the sound, they'll bring you the pictures. But early on in this contest, it is very much even keel so far. Egypt with the possession, Australia having the better chance so far. Trying to get it down the right-hand channel. A little bit of a poor touch from Volpato, but he manages to win it back and then loses out after another poor touch with Attia just closing down behind him. And Egypt have a throw-in level with the edge of their own penalty area. But it's an intriguing contest. Is this one? There's not a lot to really separate them. In the rankings, Australia are 27th coming into the tournament. Egypt 29th. They both never made it through a knockout stage, and it will be history for one of these two sides as Egypt win a free kick again deep inside their own territory, this time on the far side of the pitches. Ibrahim just got himself between man and ball and just accepted the challenge and goes down accordingly. And will take his time to take the free kick as well over on that far side of the pitch. And Australia with plenty of knockout scars. That Francesco Totti penalty for Italy back in 2006, and then the 2-1 defeat to Argentina last time out in 2022 in Qatar. Egypt, who have dominated AFCON more than anybody else in that tournament. This is the one that has been missing for them in terms of progressing to the later rounds. A late challenge goes in down this near left-hand channel as Zico just goes down and wins a free kick for Egypt in a very, very promising position. Again, just a lazy challenge that came in on Zico. Just managed to get there ahead of Jackson Irvine and goes down a little bit Harry Kane against DR Congo, but this time with it being outside the penalty area, the referee has no qualms in giving the free kick to the Egyptians as Mo Salah rightly steps over this one. 12 minutes into this game, there's two in the wall, 2 yards off the left-hand side of the penalty area. The angle is tight, and Mo Salah will likely look to cross this as well. Eman Ashour also standing over it. Just 1 goal to his name for the national team. I'm sure he will leave this to a more experienced Mo Salah. So he backheels it towards Ashour, who goes for goal, but it takes deflection off Irvine back towards the edge of the penalty area. Still not cleared for Australia. Linked towards the right-hand side by Marmoush. The cross comes in, and Egypt have the lead here in Dallas. And Egypt erupt here under the roof. And it's a beautiful ball from the right-hand side. And from Cairo to Dallas, the Pharaohs find the finish. Egypt beginning to carve their name into history. And it's a beautiful finish inside the box. It was a well-worked free kick set piece from the near side. Mohamed Salah laid it back towards the shore. He tried to go for goal. Irvine blocked it out. It came towards the edge of the area towards Marmoush, pushed it across towards the far side, and then a wonderfully timed cross came back to the man who started it in Ashour to get his second goal for the national team. Kept himself just onside, peeled off his man at the back post, and a lovely header into the bottom right-hand corner of Patrick Beach's goal, and Egypt lead by 1-0 in Dallas. And they started brightly against Iran. They've started brightly here as well. They've controlled the possession. They've controlled the pressure in the early stages of this game. And you can be assured that Eman Ashour has given Egypt the lead in what is both of these two sides' biggest ever night. Australian fans at 4 a.m. down under will be watching and listening to this one. It's just gone 9:15 in Egypt. For both of these two sides, it's going to be a very, very long night. And he's only ever scored 2 goals Ashour, and both have come at this tournament. As Australia try to find an instant reply with Sakati trying to put a long throw in from this near side. Poor flick on towards the edge of the area. Shot comes in, takes deflection all the way through. Irakunda couldn't quite get hold of it. And then the snapshot from the left-hand side just goes all the way across the box by Aidan O'Neill, the man who plies his trade in New York City. He owns a farm as well. But on that occasion, he couldn't quite work it to the man in green and gold inside the box. And how will Egypt continue to play this? They scored, we mentioned earlier, against Iran, and all of a sudden they allowed a little bit of pressure to come on to them. They gave away a very silly penalty. Chaubert did save. And then there was an instant reply as well. They struggled with the pressure at the end of that game as well, but it takes Australia's game plan out the window of counter-attacking football. They'll now have to do some attacking of their own in this game if they are wanting to find an equaliser, and that's what they're trying to do down the right-hand side with Pato, trying to break his way in towards the middle and open up the angle. Can't quite get hold of the ball and goes down, tries to protest towards the referee for a free kick, but the Uruguayan ref is having absolutely none of it. Egypt win the ball back, scramble it in towards midfield, in towards Zico. Moves it towards the right-hand side, finds Mamouche down the left-hand channel, going to drive in towards the box, taking it on his right, goes for goal, and it comes off Suter. And now over on the left-hand side, in Australia scrambling on the back foot once again. A lovely ball towards Mamouche, driving towards the left-hand side of the penalty area, just brought it back onto his right. We've seen him do it time and time again for Manchester City this season. 9 goals he scored in the league. Being a bit of a backup man to Erling Haaland. He's never scored at this major competition, but he is a special forward. He's 27 years of age, and how he would love to give given Egypt a second goal and double their advantage there. But 17 minutes gone in this game. It's Egypt just trying to apply more pressure, this time down the left-hand side. They'll just keep hold of the ball. They've got hold of the momentum so far in this game. They've started very brightly, both on and off the ball. Just trying to catch Australia out down the wings in those difficult positions. They have a little bit more in the middle of the park, Australia, than Egypt. There's more experience in there with Jackson Irvine and Aziz Behic, who between them have 170 appearances for the national team. It will be their last tournament. 33 and 35 between them. They would love to make history. Neither of these two sides are realistically going to go on and win it. France are looking exceptional in this competition, and nobody at the minute is looking like they can touch them so far. Lovely ball again, just looking over the top, over on the right-hand side for the runner in the middle, trying to find Mamouche once again, but it just skips its way through in towards Patrick Beach, who got his 2 clean sheets against Turkey and Paraguay. Just his 6th appearance this for the national team, taking over from Matty Ryan. He has 104 appearances, a Levante keeper, but Patrick Beach, he plays back in Australia for Melbourne City, the former softball player turned goalkeeper, former A-League champion. Not quite enjoying this game as he enjoyed that last game against Paraguay. I'm not too sure anybody else really enjoyed the game against Paraguay. It was one of those where both sides were certainly just playing out the draw. It put them both through. We saw it between Algeria and Austria as well, where both sides needed to draw to go through, and it ended up being a very chaotic end. But Australia are going to force a corner down this near side as it comes off Rabia last, but the linesman's given a goal kick, and we have seen it during this competition, and it's as clear as day a corner where VAR can step in. If a corner's given, it can be given as a goal kick, but if a goal kick's given, it can't be given as a corner. And it's a poor rule that has really been brought in. It's good in theory in one half and fails completely in the other, and Australia denied an opportunity to try and test Egypt inside the box there, halfway inside this first half, and the Egyptians moving across towards the right-hand side, and Australia will certainly feel there will be more of a blow if Egypt were to score in the next 60 seconds or so. Assure, the goal scorer, brings it back inside his own half. No one really closing down the Egyptians on the halfway line, just allowing them to come on to the green and gold. And Egypt just controlling the tempo and controlling this game as well. Linking up nicely in the middle with Atia and with Ibrahim. Back in the side after Abdelmanem's injury. He's a late bloomer that also features for Al Ahly back in his home country. Back on the ball once more with Fatih. Into his own half again towards Ibrahim. Just pushed it across towards the right-hand side, and just hugging the touchline is Hani. Just passing it between themselves at the moment. It's a bit like the Simpsons episode where Mexico playing. It's just the three passing it around. That's what we're experiencing so far. Now they'll try and break the back line, going all the way over the top. Offside flag stays down for the moment, and Egypt just put it wide with Mamouche breaking free inside the box. The linesman's flag does go up eventually, and forgive the lack of enthusiasm, the linesman should have put his flag up at the earliest opportunity. Miles offside inside the Australia box as Fatih just played it through, looking for the runner behind the back line. And the only reason The Egyptian front man got between the green and gold defence. It was because he was about 2, 3, 4 yards offside. But the linesmen and referees, they don't quite make decisions these days. They'll let VAR do most of the job for them. Being an Englishman, we see plenty in the Premier League, and if anything, it makes the refereeing lazy and allows them to be poorer on the pitch in making decisions. As Australia with an excellent challenge inside their own half to win it back, and now they'll move it across towards the left-hand side. Got an opportunity just before the hydration break here just to try and provide their own counter down the left-hand side. Lovely through ball, links it nicely in towards Bayic, who can't quite get the first time cross, but will try and see it out for a corner kick, and this time the referee does point to the corner flag over on the far side, as Bayic did ever so well just to break down that back line, try to get Ed Shaw, who is doing it at one end of the pitch and also doing it defensively at the other as well. Just got the blocking on the first instance, and then Bayic just putting himself between man and ball to see it out for a corner kick as Volpato makes his way over to take the corner from the far side with that left boot of his. Kisses the ball before he puts it down. Not sure that's too hygienic, but it might bring him a little bit of luck as he looks to put the cross in towards the box. Goes towards the far side. Irakunda gets the header there, but can't quite get over the top of the ball on the run. And it goes out comfortably for a goal kick. The set piece, most of the players ran towards the front post. Irakunda ran towards the back, but just couldn't quite get on the end of it, and that will be the hydration break, or the ad break as it's known over in the United States. And Tony Popovic, he's kept saying over the last few days, Australia have had plenty of time to rest. In the time that Australia have played, Egypt have played twice. They've had that break, but he wants them to move beyond that underdog tag. It's the match that they can certainly do it in. It's not a glamour tie, but it is a high stakes one, where a clean performance and a big transition could change Australian football memories. They have the young talent that's been coming through during this competition. Lucas Hetherington became Australia's youngest starter in this competition against Paraguay. He's caught the eye as well of Barcelona and could be one of the big movers after this tournament. We normally see a couple of players that will make moves. One of the biggest was obviously James Rodriguez all those years ago after Brazil in 2014. Irakunda and Volpato as well, trying to add that little bit of counter-attacking punch, with Irvine remaining that midfield conscience. But they are without their main front man in Matthew Leckie, who is out injured. Jacob Ilatano not expected to feature anymore in this competition, with various hamstring injuries, which does just reduce Popovic's attacking options. But they still will always remember that Australia do have the record international win, that 31-0 win against American Samoa back in the qualifiers for 2002 when they competed in Oceania. They now have moved across to the Asian qualification section, which has allowed them to develop the players far more and far better as well, and that means they have been in far more tournaments than they were when they had to go against the South American qualifiers in the playoff games, when that was the case for them at the time. And in that game, Archie Thompson scored 13 of his 28 international goals in that one game. But spare a thought for David Drilic, who scored 8 of his own, but won't ever be remembered after Archie Thompson got that record. I'm not too sure many will even remember or know Archie Thompson, bar that one moment of history. But if you're going to be remembered for something, I don't think that's too bad for them. For Egypt, well, they like to draw plenty of theatre. They have a lot of expectations back home. And as they come back out from the hydration break, well, Sam Hassan will be saying more of the same, please. Australia, well, they've just got to try and add a little bit more pressure on Egypt when they're sitting just inside their own half. They're allowing them to pick the passes, moving it from left to right. Getting over the back of the Australian back line. They've done fairly well with some of the balls. But it was a long rangy ball that started the process of a goal for Egypt, as we are back underway here. 26 minutes gone in this game. It was a little bit early for the hydration break from the referee inside this air-conditioned stadium under the roof, and it is 22 degrees. I don't think they're ever really needed in the majority of the grounds, that is for sure. We've seen England playing their game against Ghana when it was raining and they had a hydration break. Players could have just opened their mouths and got enough hydration that day. No reason to go and have another tactical break on the near side, and allow a couple of adverts to rock in as well, as Australia with a throw in halfway inside their own half over on the far side of the pitch. What can they do with the ball? The remainder of this first half, of which there is still plenty of time for them to make their way back into it. They're trying to stride down the left-hand channel. Under plenty of pressure from Hani as it just goes out, and it's good defending again. It was well worked from Bajic, but he just got the ball caught under his feet, and it just allowed Hani to come across and win the throw-in right under the referee's nose, as the referee starts to count down on the throw. One of the rules that I am rather pleased has come in, and I really am hoping it comes into the Premier League next season. It will certainly put Arsenal under a little bit of pressure. We also saw it in the Champions League final as well. Not quite the same thing, but the slow play of Saka to take the corner kick just before the end of the first half. The referee had had enough. He wanted his half-time libation and called an end to it. And hopefully we see some of these rules brought in as well, as Egypt just switched the play from the right to the left-hand side to bring Hafez. He's got plenty of space in front of him to try and drive. Runs into a little bit of traffic and has to come back towards Atia. Holds on to the ball once more. Australia keeping their shape more than trying to close down. Now Irankunda is going to try and chase down the Egyptian back line, but there are 4 Egyptians surrounding him, and it's easy enough for them to break through. And when you are trying to do the pressing all on your own, it leaves much to be desired in terms of having any effectiveness whatsoever. Hugging the touchline over on the right-hand side is Ashore. Brings it back in towards Fatih, who's had plenty of the ball in the opening half an hour of this game, but he will go all the way back towards his goalkeeper away to our right-hand side. And Egypt know that they can quite happily just keep hold of the ball, show that maturity on it. But on that occasion, they've just taken the words out of my mouth and just thrown it straight out of play over on the far side, level with the edge of the Aussie penalty area. And Bates will come across to take the throw in deep inside his own territory. There he is, trying to make about 10-15 yards down that left-hand line. The referee not pushing him back just yet. Gets the throw in and takes it short, nicely in towards Aidan O'Neill. Returns it back towards the throw-in taker, who then goes towards Irankunda, who gets his feet all in a muddle, and it goes out for a thrown over on the far side. He's got 6 in 18 for the national team. Scored just 4 in 40 for Watford in the Championship last season. He is lightning fast though, and he can provide explosive moments when it really matters. A long ball looks towards Mamouche on this left-hand side, and unless he's Usain Bolt in his prime, he won't quite catch up to that one as it goes out for an Australian goal kick. Half an hour then gone in this game. Egypt lead by a goal to 0. It's going to be history no matter what for one of these two sides. Egypt fully in the ascendancy, but there is plenty of time for twists in this game, as Beach takes his time to get the goal kick. Just still a very young, inexperienced keeper, the 22-year-old. He has experience in the A-League, but in a competition of this magnitude, sometimes the likes of Matty Ryan are better placed, but so far he has been fairly decent in a few of the games. Beach, when it comes to the big question and the big ties in the knockout stage, who do you want in there? And that might be a question on the Australians' lips so far, but they have had a good tournament so far. Almost given away with a lazy pass from Egypt going back in towards the centre half of Rabia. Tries to then swing it towards the right hand side, giving away to Irakunda, who then goes down halfway inside the Egypt half as he just tried to turn his man and wins a free kick for Australia. As Hani just clears him out and then stays on the ground himself. Hoping to try and get away with one more than anything else. It was a lazy challenge that came in. Sorry, it wasn't Hani, it was Ibrahim who came across his man. And then Hani went down as he tried to jump over the challenge of Irakunda and just took a little bit of a boot towards the back of his right calf. Or maybe milking it more than anything else. But when you do have to go off with the physio coming on, one of the rules is you will have to wait for a minute or so, and that does mean Australia will have an opportunity to put the ball into the box and threaten the Egyptian goal, with Egypt down to 10 men for the time being. And on the replay that they have shown, they have just left that leg up a little bit. He had absolutely no idea, though, that Mohamed Hani was coming across. He was excellent against Iran on that right-hand side of the defence, the 30-year-old. He is back to his feet, but just limping a little bit and just holding on to that right calf of his. There's a couple of Egyptian players do just start to warm up. Abdel Magouid is a defender on the bench, as is Tarak Allah, but they are very, very limited in terms of defensive players on the bench, Egypt. They're built for forwards with Trezeguet, Abdel Karim, Hassan, Abdel and Zizou. But it's Australia that will do the attacking here. Free kick can now come in. Swung in towards the penalty spot. It's bounced in front and a real opportunity. Irvine goes for it, then just drops down inside the area. And it's a poor challenge, and the referee's whistle was already gone. And Egypt have a free kick inside their own box. But it was a good ball initially that came in. It fell probably to the man you don't really want it to fall to, in Sekati, the right back. And he just tried to hit it on the half volley, but completely missed the ball. He was once told by Buffon to follow what he felt inside when he chose Australia over Italy. And he's already one of the Socceroos' most polished defenders in his 17th game for the national team. Egypt looked to go long, flicked on by Marmoush, but in hope more than expectation it might find Mo Salah coming in from the right-hand side. Just over 11 minutes to go in this first half. Egypt still leading by a goal to nil, but Australia starting to just get themselves into the game a little bit more, finding a bit of spark inside themselves and showing some signs of life. They've certainly had a couple of opportunities inside the box. They haven't been without opportunities, but those opportunities have been half more than full. And coming down the left-hand side once again is Beige. That's where the ball's predominantly been the attacking option as he tries to swing it across the box. Goes all the way over to the far side of the pitch, and coming across is Boss. Become a household name in Australia during this competition. Just pulls it back, looking towards Volpato, whose return pass just gives it away, but another lazy pass from Egypt hands the ball straight back to Australia on this near right-hand side, and they've won a throw-in as well, level with the edge of the penalty area. And as we creep closer to half-time, Australia just starting to pick themselves up a little bit and applying the pressure. Sekati comes over to take the long throw, sends it towards the right-hand corner of the penalty area, 6-yard box, bounces once for Irakunda, comes towards the far side, Irakunda pulls it back towards the edge of the area, shot comes in, and it's the first shot on target for Australia, but it's comfortable down to the right-hand side for Chaubert. And it's the man who's had plenty of the ball in Bejic. Irakunda did ever so well just to keep hold of the ball, lay it off towards the edge of the box, with Mo Salah chasing down. Bejic just had a snapshot more than anything else, looking to the bottom right corner. And he did find the target, but couldn't quite challenge Chaubert in the goal. More than the meat and drink that would be for a keeper of his quality. Mo Salah Still tries to chase down Sam Hassan's goal-scoring record for the national team. He's just 2 away with 66 to Hassan's 68. Hassan has said during this tournament he would love Mo Salah to actually overtake him. And of course you would, because it means he scores at least 2 more goals. And you don't know how many games you have got left. Nobody ever does. Tell that to Germany. As Irankunda almost finds his save behind the back line. It was an excellent turn, but Chaubert commands his area and just gets out. It was just a lofted ball, just trying to get Irankunda, who's getting livelier in this game, over the top. He showed his weight and just shrugged Ibrahim off the ball. Got right in behind, but then it just skipped through. Off this surface, it has been watered plenty before the start of the game. 8 minutes to go in this first half, plus time added on, of which there will be about 5-6 minutes. It always tends to be, but a lovely win of the ball on this near right-hand side for Volpato, and goes down under a challenge as well. And the Uruguayan referee, I thought he was going to bring a card out from his pocket. He tends to bring out yellow cards. He's averaged 5 a game over his career. 1,734 yellow cards he has given in his career, the 38-year-old referee. Don't ask how long it took to calculate. Down the right-hand side again come Australia, taking the free kick quickly, just trying to work it in towards the box, but an excellent slide tackle can only force it out for a corner kick. And here come Australia once again. Marwan Atiyah was the man putting in the challenge, the Al Attiyah dreamer and midfield linchpin. But on that occasion, doing the defensive work again to stop the Australia rapid counter down the right-hand side. As a set piece they've been trying a couple of times is set up again with 2 inside the 6-yard box. It's Volpato swings it in this time from the right-hand side. It finds his man over on the far side, but it's a poor header down from Sekati, who has been the man the ball has found in the penalty area a couple of times from these free kicks. And on all 3 occasions, and corner kicks I should say, and on all 3 occasions, he just hasn't quite found the connection. This time he was under a little bit more pressure from his opposite number in Hani on the far side of the penalty area. Volpato's corners have just gone a little bit too far over on the far side. Again, the runners move towards the near side. One runner moves towards the back stick, and it seems to just evade them all, and that's something that will be a topic of conversation at half-time, as a long ball goes forward again from the gold and green, but all the way through towards Chaubert inside his penalty area. He can be a tall and imposing figure, Sekati. There's an excellent little dink around the corner from Chaubert, just manages to get it away from the on-rushing and very rapid Irankunda. Egypt have a bit of space over on the right-hand side, and they'll move inside the Australian half, apologies. Back inside the Egypt half it goes once again, with Rami Rabia. Moves it across towards the left-hand side with Hafez, under a bit of pressure from Volpato, who again just growing into this game. The Sassuolo man in just his 4th appearance for the national team. He was a late recruit who came in after years of Italy debate. One of a few Australian players that could have chosen between Italy and Australia. We've seen it as well in a couple of the other sides as Egypt win a free kick halfway inside the Australian half on the far side, and it was just a little bit of a lazy arm that came in towards the Egyptian over on the far side of the pitch in Eman Ashur, who lost the ball and then just took a little bit of an elbow to the lip, and the referee quite happy to offer him a free kick there. Or there's a little bit a questionable decision from the referee. I don't think the arm was intentional, but these days it will be given. We've seen it as well. Players have been choosing other sides over Italy, and I can't quite remember the American player who chose America over Italy, because it knew that he'd get him into this competition. I'll have a better chance. Italy have missed out on the last 3. Some of those big sides, Germany, haven't won a knockout game since they won the tournament in 2014. But Egypt here trying to win their first, as is Australia, but it's Egypt currently winning by a goal to nil. 4 minutes to go before the end of the first half. It's Mo Salah again standing over it with Ashaw. Ashaw leaves it and moves away from it. This time Mohamed Salah goes short towards the left-hand side. The cross comes back in. 8-second headed clearance towards the near left-hand side. Mamouche can't quite get there, and Australia just hack it away and out for a throw-in down this near left-hand channel. And in the end, it's actually gone out for a goal kick. The linesman said over on the far side. But it's another set piece. Well worked from Mo Salah. Instead of crossing it in the box himself, he's pulled it back to the left-hand side, this time towards Hamzi Fati, whose first time cross just looked towards the far side of the Australian box. It was knocked away nicely by Jackson Irvine, getting there ahead of the on-rushing Egyptian frontmen. And Australia dealing with that defensively very, very well, but need to do something up the other end of the pitch in what has been a rather even contest inside this first half between two very, very close-knit sides. In all of the stats, the facts, and everything you want to bring before the start of the game, Egypt came in as the favourites, but I would question that just a little bit in terms of the momentum Australia have had through some of their games, especially the performance they put up against Turkey as a challenge goes in inside the Egyptian half. And a free kick goes Egypt's way, and it's Yasser Ibrahim, who this time just pushed down Irakunda just in front of him, and then the trailing leg just caught the back left heel of the Egyptian player, who goes down and just tries to slow the game down, and no physio needed, just a little bit of time to wind down. I would potentially bring the rule in, and if you don't need the physio and you are near the side of a pitch, just get off the pitch and you can come back when you're ready, and you'll see plenty of players get back to their feet rather quickly, just like the throw-ins that need to be taken at pace. You will see plenty of changes when the substitutes are made as well, how quickly players now have to get off the pitch with that 10-second rule. They've made some good changes for this tournament. But some rules still need to come in again as Australia tried to move it down this right-hand side. Just a little instep to just step across his man on the near side. Hafez, and puts it out for a throw-in. Australia trying to take it quickly. 90 seconds plus time added on for Australia to try and find a way back into this game. Back with Sakati. Looking to go forward to Irakunda again. Just turned his man this time, but couldn't quite get hold of the ball. And it just squirms its way through towards Rabia, who leaves it for his goalkeeper. They'll pass it between themselves on the edge of their own penalty area. Looks to go long towards the left-hand side in towards Mamouche. It's touched a little bit heavy, but it falls kindly towards Mo Salah. One touch and then moves it across towards the right-hand side towards Alejandro Sakati once again. Just keeps hold of the ball and just tries to invite the old and green just to come on to him, and then quickly moves it across towards Atir on this left-hand side. Egypt keeping hold of the ball at the end of what has been a fairly entertaining first half between these two sides. A late challenge goes in, but Mamouche sends it forward in towards Mo Salah, who just couldn't quite stretch for it. Halfway inside the Australian half. And maybe a few years ago, a year or two ago, he would have got hold of that when he doesn't quite have the legs as it goes out for an Egypt goal kick away to our right-hand side. And that will just bring the time down in Egypt's favour at the end of this first 45 minutes. And it will be 5 minutes added on by the Swiss fourth official, Shihab. And Chabert will certainly like to take his time as well with the goal kick. Just sends it forward, looking for Zico. Can't quite get the first ball, but the second ball, as it has done time and time again in this first half, falls to a man in red. Skipped down towards the left-hand side by Hafez into the path of Mamouche. Tries to then drive down the left-hand channel. Picks out Hafez, who continues his run towards the byline. Retreats back, though, towards Mamouche. Flick back in towards the middle towards Atu. Sends the cross in again, looking for Mo Salah, whose little flick on just couldn't quite generate enough power or accuracy to challenge Beach in his goal. And it's comfortable for the goalkeeper, who always has to be alert when Mo Salah is lurking inside the penalty area. And on that occasion, he came up trumps. Australia try send it down the right hand side. Excellent little run from Volpata. Pulls it back onto his left. Tries to go for the curling shot. He clipped the top of the bar early inside this half, and on this occasion goes well wide of the goal, but you can't offer him too many opportunities cutting in from that right hand side, coming on to his left. And just tried to curl it around two defenders and the goalkeeper, but ends up going 5-6 yards wide of the right hand post. And Hossam Hassan in the Egyptian dugout just screaming instructions to his players as Australia try to find a way back in with 3 minutes to go in stoppage time at the end of this first half. It's with Irvine back inside the centre circle, ball back towards the giant of Sutar, in towards Sakati, back to Sutar once again, just moving it forward and under a challenge. The referee allows play to continue. Hasn't even played advantage for Australia there, but they'll keep hold of the ball and move it towards the left hand side, just skipping past Mo Salah and linking up nicely with Harrington. Hasn't had too much to do on that left hand side, but he does find a nice ball forward to just try and split the midfield of those in red. Comes back out towards Irving, then cross comes in from the right hand side from Sakati once more, just can't quite find the pass, but it's picked up by Bejic. Pulled back 10 yards off the left hand corner of the area in towards Erakunda, just got in between two defenders but couldn't get enough onto it. I'm not sure who it came off last, but Shubir in the goal certainly won't care as it fell kindly to him in his 6 yard box, but for a moment hearts were in mouths once again for those in red, as the referee asked for the throw-in to be taken once again inside the Australian half, as Egypt just cleared the lines as quickly as they could. But the ball that came in from the left hand side, it was Irakunda who did get the flick on with the header. The Egyptian defender rising high is just behind him again in Hafez, just to put him off, as it just bounces off him and kindly towards Joubert in the goal. But Australia trying to come again down this right hand side, running into traffic though is Sakati, and Boss takes the throw in quickly after winning it 5 yards inside the Egypt half. Tries to then make a run down the right hand side, flicks it on in towards the Egyptian penalty area, hacked away though by Rabia, higher than Bob Marley but not very far, and it's picked up by those in gold once again. Flick forward, Mamouche with a little bit of tennis going on between both sides, then just pumped forward again by Rabia once more towards Suter, who lurks underneath it, and the one thing he's going to get right is a nice header. Flicks it down kindly in towards Boss on this near right hand side, skips past one but can't quite drive forward. The challenge comes in from his opposite number in Rabia once again. Irakunda, while Boss is still down on the ground, picks up the ball, pulls it back towards the edge of the penalty area, side tackle goes in, still inside the box for Australia, calls for a handball potentially to look at for VAR here as it comes back out towards Mamouche and then cleared away by Egypt. But it was Irvine who was calling for a penalty inside the box with 30 seconds to go. Australia still on the ball, 15 yards off the edge of the Egyptian penalty area, just trying to move it towards the left hand side. All but one back for Egypt on the edge of their own box, but now they're going to make their way out as Boss is still down on the ground for Australia, but they're not bothered at the moment. They just want to get on with the game, and now they've been told by the referee to put it out of play, as Boss will need a little bit of treatment. And right at the end of the first half, it's what we saw in the last game against Iran, just frantic under pressure. Egypt just about living with it though in the end of the first 45 minutes, and Boss, who probably should have had a free kick on the near side, but referee playing advantage with Irakunda getting hold of the ball, and it was a half opportunity for Australia, driving again towards the edge of the area, and they're getting themselves back into it for a brief period of the first half. Egypt had almost 70% possession, and Australia getting closer At 45% themselves. 5 shots to 3. Only one save made by the keeper, and that is by Chaubert. And that will also be the end of the first half. The referee will allow Boston to receive some half-time treatment, and he'll allow the players to receive a half-time libation themselves as they make their way off. An excellent first half from both of these two sides. History is in the making for one of them. It was an excellent start for Egypt. A well-worked free kick from the left-hand side. Mo Salah flicked it back towards the shore. His shot was blocked by Irving, came back out towards the edge of the penalty area to Marmoush. He pushed it to the right-hand side in towards Fatih, whose cross back in towards the box was met by Eman Ashur, whose second goal for the national team was a little header down into the bottom right-hand corner of Patrick Beach's goal. It was then a scramble at both ends to try and find a second for Egypt and a way back in for Australia. Australia forcing a save out of Chaubert from the shot from the edge of the box, but that's all they have been able to muster up, that one from Behic. And from Egypt, they've controlled the possession. They've had a couple of half chances, but Australia trying to find a way back in. Plenty of time to do so, but it's Australia 0, Egypt 1.
Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok.
Welcome back all to the second half here in Dallas in Arlington. The roof is closed and it is the red half of the stadium that is happy so far. Change made at half-time by Australia. Boss, who was down injured at the end of the first half, won't continue. And the Feyenoord man is replaced by Kai Truin. The New York City defender making his 7th appearance for the national team, the 25-year-old. He's a ball-playing defender. He's an Instagram trend bolter as well. But he likes to keep a low profile. No more after being in the spotlight in this competition, of which he will be in this second half after coming on. And we are underway with Egypt kicking us off from left to right in this second half and almost find their way for a second at the start of the second half. And what a miss that is from Mamouche. 10 seconds into the second half, straight from the kickoff. The through ball just cut open Australia. They weren't ready, they weren't prepared, and Mamouche found himself one-on-one with the goalkeeper and puts it wide by 2 yards of the left-hand post. And what a huge opportunity that was for Egypt to double their advantage at the start of this second 45. And Mamouche, who's never scored in this competition, found himself in a glorious opportunity, one we've seen him take time and time again in the Premier League and domestic competitions this season. And what a real opportunity that was at the start of the half. As Australia win a free kick 10 yards inside the Egypt half, and it allows us to go through the teams after a very, very frantic 60 seconds. So it'll be Beach in goal for Australia. Zakati, Suter and Harrington in the back three. Truin on that right-hand side. O'Neill, Irvin and Baich, the midfield four. Those two in Baich and Truin will certainly play as wing-backs, pushing themselves back in defensively into a 5 when it's needed. Volpato and Metcalf either side of Iran Kunda up front for the Socceroos. For the Pyramids, Sober in goal, unchanged at half-time. Hani, Rabiot, Ibrahim and Hafez the back four. Fatih and Atiyah sit just in front to show the goal scorer. Salah and Zico are just behind Omar Mamouche, who had that absolute glorious opportunity. There was an opportunity for Australia here. They try and take the free kick, held off for a moment as it played it in towards Irvin, knocks it down towards the edge of the penalty area, but just hacked away by those in red. Cleared out towards the edge of the penalty area. Irvin knocks it down again towards the far side of the box. Floated back in towards the right-hand side, left-hand side. And again, it's just another opportunity. This time from Australia. And he's taken the worst of it for Egypt. And they're trying to get the physios quickly for him as he's rolled onto his right-hand side. He looks like he's been taken out in the process. He got there, he got back, and he put off the Australians. And he's taken a good hefty challenge for it. But at the start of this second period, both sides have had glorious opportunities. It wasn't cleared by Egypt, it was played back in towards Irvin, who got the first knock down towards the edge of the box. His second found a man in goal over on the far side and then just lofted back in. And the runners came in. Irvin was one of them. Well, good defensive work as it goes out for a goal kick to Egypt. But a little bit of a brief stoppage in play while we wait to see how that challenge has affected Mohamed Hani. In his own penalty area, he is thankfully back to his feet for a brief moment. It did look a little bit worse. And it does now. He's back to his feet, but not too sure how much concussion protocols will come into play here. The players rolled him onto his side. You would think in 2026 that would be the end of his game, but two players came across. He's allowed to make his way off on the near side. He's been told he's got to go off the pitch just yet by the referee, who is just letting Schubert know that it is a goal kick. 4 minutes into the second half. We've had a brief stoppage for about 3 minutes or so. Hani is still not off the pitch on the near side, and the referee, the Uruguayan, will come across and tell him to do so. I'm rather surprised with the way that he went down and how quick the players were to roll him onto his side, that he's not going to be taken off. Surely protocol comes in front to protect a player more than anything else. He says that he's okay, though the Egyptian coaching staff, they're trying to protest with the fourth official on this near side to get him back onto the pitch. But we are finally back underway at the start of this second half. 5 minutes gone then, of which we'll already have an additional 4 minutes added on. Just launched in towards the Australian half. Half cleared back towards the halfway line, and in turn Egypt will just return the favour as it goes back through towards Patrick Beach, away in his box towards the right hand side. But that challenge, that opportunity from Marmouche, it's like going on a third date. Everybody knows it's happening, but he just couldn't tuck it away on that opportunity. And then up the other end, Australia with a good opportunity as well, but in stepped Hani, who's now back onto his feet, but driving down the left hand side is Bates. Just tries to play it first time in towards the box, but a good interceptive tackle that comes out from Fatu, clears his lines once more. Australia in possession and trying to put on a bit of pressure at the start of this second half, something they were doing towards the end of the first 45-minute period. It's on the halfway line with the Australian captain Suter. He's passing towards the middle, towards Irvine. Not the best, and Irvine's return pass as well has him retreating back towards the edge of his own area over on the far right-hand side. And he's just got his feet all in a muddle, and in the end he goes back towards safety in Patrick Beach inside his penalty area. And we've seen some exciting games in this round of 32. Switzerland getting through for the first time ever, beating Algeria by 2-0. Portugal scraping through in what was personally a horror VAR decision at the end of that game. The goal should have stood. There's no evidence that it came off the Croatian head, and the long ball comes in from the right hand side, but cleared out again by Hani towards this left hand channel. Skipped down nicely by O'Neill, who tries to drive towards the byline, but the tackle comes in, and it's an excellent tackle as well. It comes back off O'Neill and out for an Egypt goal kick, and out for a throw in, in this near side. It will be an Egyptian throw, that is for sure, but it came off the man last in green and gold. But that Portugal game, they've seen plenty of decisions going their way in this competition so far. That Colombia goal ruled out, the Croatia goal ruled out, Ronaldo having his 3-game ban overturned after violent conduct against Ireland in the qualifiers. It could have had arguably 2 red cards against DR Congo as well. So they're riding their luck at the moment. He did get his first ever knockout goal, Ronaldo. But plenty of people will still say he's never had a goal from open play in a knockout game, so he's still got that to break in the next round in what's going to be a wonderful game against Spain. Against 2 countries that border each other on the west of Europe. Spain getting through after a comfortable 3-0 win against Austria. The USA beating Bosnia by 2-0 despite being down to 10 men, but don't ask Americans how they think that red card should have gone. Some people have been trying to protest to Donald Trump to pardon Balogun, to rescind the red card, but the lack of sort of understanding of the game is rather amusing. You can't even appeal a red card at this competition, never mind have a president pardon it, but I think that shows America more than it shows probably their understanding anyway. But we'll swiftly move on. Belgium got through an exciting game against Senegal by 3-2. Driving down the left-hand side of Australia once more, and they'll win a free kick 10 yards off the edge of the left-hand side of the Egyptian penalty area. And it was again O'Neill who's moved across the left-hand side in this second half. Just tried to take on Zico, who waved his hand at him as he went down to say, "Get back to your feet." But the referee quite happy to give the free kick to the Socceroos. 9 minutes into the second half. An opportunity for Australia, who were certainly starting the second half better than they started the first. As it's the man who won the free kick standing over it once more. Just one in the wall in Mo Salah, trying to call over Mamouche to add a second, but he's pointing out to Volpater on the edge of the penalty area. But O'Neill stands over it, puts it in right foot, and it goes all the way through with a flick on. And Australia restore parity. And it's the captain from the back to the front. The big man, Suter, plucks it out the sky and sends it into the goal. And the green and gold have grit in the Texas heat. Australia are level, and the knockout tie is alive again. It's Australia 1, Egypt 1, and it's a fine set piece from Australia from this near side. It was a beautiful ball in. They couldn't quite decide, Egypt, who was going to be in the wall, who was marking who. Hani got it all wrong, and the 2-metre man, Suter, got on the end of the cross, kept himself onside, and I think it's gone all the way past Suter, actually, and flicked off Hani and into his own goal, and it is an own goal from Hani. The man who I think probably should have been taken off for concussion protocols moments ago has ended up putting the ball into his own net. In Australia, and those fans in delirium in Dallas in the stands will not care one jot. Their side are level. They have a knockout goal, and they sense momentum as well. It's Australia 1, Egypt 1, and it's game on in Dallas. And Egypt, who tend to start halves fairly well, they haven't done so in this second 45 minute. How much is that Omar Marmoush opportunity? 10 seconds into the second 45 minutes, going to prove costly in this game for Egypt. It certainly woke up the Socceroos. It certainly allowed them an opportunity. They sense momentum, and they've taken it with both hands. The ball from O'Neill from the left-hand side, swung in. Remember, if it's tied after 90 minutes, we go to 30 minutes of extra time. We've seen that a couple of times. We've also seen fair few late goals as well. England with the late turnaround against the DR Congo. Is an Englishman. That was quite a difficult game to watch. It's the longest that they've actually played in this competition before having a shot. Jude Bellingham's 30th minute effort was the latest they've gone into a game in all the competitions they've played, or all the iterations of the competition they've played over the years. And it's the one thing they struggle to do, is break down sides that like to sit and park the bus, or as it tends to known these days, the low block. But I really don't like that phrase. Just call it parking the bus, call it what it is. It's great defending, I'll give it that. Ghana did it, Panama did it. We've seen other teams do it. Cape Verde, Curacao have done it in some games as well. We've seen some of these sides that you, before the competition started, you would expect it not to have done too well, but some have done brilliantly well. Cape Verde have become the masters of it. And can they do it again later on this evening as well? The game after this is Argentina against Cape Verde. I don't think we've seen a more one-sided game ever at this major competition. And then the final round of 32 game is Colombia-Ghana. The other games in the round of 32. Mexico beat Ecuador at the Azteca. All that about it being at altitude and 2 losses in 88 games. Well, yes, they have only had 2 losses in the 88 games, but have a look at the teams that they have beaten. 2 of them are under 23 sides, and 8 of them are Jamaica, 8 are El Salvador. The only side of any real note that they have got a result against that ground is Brazil, which takes a little bit of the shine off the stat. Well, it is still a wonderful stat. It doesn't quite strike the fear into you that it should, and I will probably eat my words on Sunday evening by 3 o'clock, but isn't that all part of sport? As Egypt try to just get themselves back on the ball and just control this game a little bit more in this second half. 14 minutes gone into the second 45 period. And it's with Fatty. Moves it across towards the left-hand side in towards Hafez, just hugging the touchline. Comes back in towards Fatty again. This time he tries to look towards the left-hand side, but it's a poorly placed pass, and it's picked up again as it's given away cheaply, and then the free kick in turn given away cheaply on this near left-hand side as a challenge goes in on Irakunda, and the referee still not bringing out his cards. As Ibrahim just came across, just shoved off Irakunda. He tried to take him on this left-hand touch, this left-hand channel. And the Aussies in the crowd, they've got their own yellow cards to flash at the pitch, but the referee Telhera. Not brandishing one just yet. He gave two in his last game 2 weeks ago in the game between Mexico and South Korea. And maybe he's trying to get away from that reputation of being that no-nonsense referee who loves to dish out cards, but standing over the free kick again is the man that got the assist for the last one, O'Neill. Just one in the wall. This time he floats it towards the far side of the penalty area and dealt with much better by Egypt on that occasion, but falls into a man in goal. Pulled back towards this near left-hand side towards O'Neill. Just a little bit behind him, so he's got to stretch for it. Gets it under control and tries to put another whip ball into the box. Comes back out towards Irvin. Flick back in towards the area again from the far right-hand side from Chewin. And Egypt just about dealing with it, but the Socceroos getting hold of it. Lofting it again towards the edge of the box. Back towards Irvin. Just dinks it towards the left-hand side. In towards Edekunda on the edge of the D. Pulls it across towards the left again. Trying to bring Metcalf into play. Comes back out towards Edekunda, who tries to strike it. But two Egyptian players are gathered around him and stopping the opportunity. And as the ball comes out, Mo Salah will win a free kick for the Egyptians. And they will have a bit of a reprieve after a brief spell of Australian pressure away to the left-hand side. But once again, Australia looking the more likely now in this second half to try to find a second. And it's from the set pieces that's causing Egypt trouble. They just about deal with it. But they are looking increasingly unsteady as they're back on the ball again. Patient play is one way to put it for Egypt. Indecisive is another at the moment. They do have a clinical pass when it matters. They do have quality in the side as well. Predominantly trying to rely on the 34-year-old Mo Salah, who wants to add to his 66 goals in 118 appearances now for the national team. But relying on Mo Salah isn't quite the same in 2026 as it has been over the years. In the centre circle, just to the right-hand side of it, is Rabia. Links in with Ati, who moves it across towards Hafez over on the far side. Pulls it back in towards Zico. Just trying to creep their way forward and probe the flanks. And now down the right-hand side again. Lovely little ball in towards Mo Salah on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Has to retreat back towards Hani, who then, the flag goes up on Mo Salah. It looked rather tight as he broke in behind the back line. It was the big man of Harrington who just managed to step forward and put Mo Salah offside. But it was the right idea on that occasion from Egypt. But again, maybe just a little bit lazy from their perspective. And Sam Hassan might have a couple of decisions to make in this second half. Australia made a change at half-time with Boss having to come off injured at half-time. But who will blink first in terms of trying to change strategy in this second period? Flick forward by Irvin, pushed towards the right-hand side, in towards Truitt. Takes it with the knee and then just brings it to the halfway line inside the centre circle again towards Suter. Keeps it going across the left towards Harrington, who then points it straight back towards Suter again, who goes back towards Beach inside his own penalty area and moves it across towards the right-hand side. And we've got plenty more exciting games apart from the two coming up later this afternoon and this evening, or even during the daytime, depending if you are in Australia or New Zealand. It is 5:25 in the morning on the east coast of Australia. It's 2:25 in Dallas, and it will be Egypt who will look to blink first. In the dugout was Sam Hassan. Readies the reinforcements on the touchline. But for the time being, Australia still have the ball in their possession. It looks to be Hassim Hassan. Might make his way on for Egypt. We'll let you know those changes when the ball does go out in a moment or two. But for Australia, they're just keeping hold of it. Moving it across towards the left-hand side. Rather fortunate that the misplaced pass just goes behind the back of Mo Salah. to find Metcalf. He comes back towards the captain, Suter. Nice little ball in towards the midfield, but a poor touch just gives it away towards Egypt, and then they'll pick up the loose ball. Go back towards the centre half, though, of Ibrahim Rabiu, and moves it across towards Hani on the right-hand side. Again, just tries to stride forward, then under a little bit of pressure, moves it back again towards the centre halves of Rabiu once more. Hafeif 5 yards inside his own half, flicks it back in towards Ati. Tried to look back and then decided, actually, I'm going to move forward with as he turns towards his right-hand side. Remember, you can watch this game through your local network provider. They'll bring you the pictures, we can bring you the sound. As it's with Atia once more. 20 minutes gone in this second half. We're moments away again from the second hydration breaks. A loose pass is picked up nicely by the Egyptians over on the far side, and striding forward down the left-hand side with the bright yellow boots, and it played back in towards Mo Salah, who couldn't quite angle himself as the ball came in. I think he thought it was going to be a shot from Zico over on the far side as he was charging forward. Hani tries to put another ball back in with the early cross, but it's cleared out from the edge of the penalty area. Knocked down nicely by Fatty again, sorry, towards Hafez, who had that shot moments ago over on the left-hand side. Pulls it back in towards the middle to Fatty. Cross towards Atia, who's now playing on the right-hand side of that too. Hani. Fatty again, plays it towards the edge of the penalty area, comes back out towards the edge of the box, towards the shore. 2 goals for him in this tournament so far, trying to look potentially for a third. Decides to pass it down the right-hand side, and the cross from Hani's just about dealt with by Australia, and Hani's closing it down, and it comes off him and goes out of play on this near side, and now the changes will be made. And it will be Hossam Abdelmajid who comes on, and Hussein Hassan also making their way on. Hamdi Fatty makes his way off for Hossam. A bit of change in the middle, and Zico will also make his way off as well. So 2 attacking changes. Oh, sorry, a mix of an attacking and defensive change with Hossam, the Zamalek defender, in his 15th appearance for the national team coming on. He's a dominant 6'4" centre-back. And a look to try and be someone that has to test what is a very tall Australian side now, with Harrington, Suter in the back. And Irakunda, as Australia win a free kick 10 yards inside their own half, as Bayric just takes a late challenge. But Hamdi Fatty, who's been a bit of an anchor in this game, playing that number 6 role. And Zico also making his way off. He's got 3 goals in 6 games. He scored against New Zealand. As we go to the hydration break. And the other man that did come on was Hassan Hassan, the Real Oviedo man. This is his 5th appearance for the national team, born in Paris. He chose Egypt over France and Tunisia, where he was eligible for. He's a direct winger. He'll try and attack as he's a like-for-like replacement with Zico over on that far side of the pitches. We go to that stoppage. During the first hydration break, we spoke about Australia and how they're trying to turn themselves away from that underdog tag. Well, Egypt, well, they're trying to turn themselves into the side that can actually contribute to this tournament. They dominate in AFCON. They've won it more than anybody else. Their last game against Iran, we've spoken about a few times, full of drama. The early goal from Saber, Mustafa Schubert save. Iran hit the crossbar, the late chaos when Iran thought that Shoja Khalizadeh had won it in stoppage time, but VAR ruled it out for offside. The keeper, Schubert, got very, very, very lucky. He came out and Superman got himself all in a muddle. And thankfully, because he got himself out of the goal, it meant he wasn't the second last man. And 2 defenders meant it was an offside. Iran put themselves 3rd last at that stage in the 3rd place standings. and then 3 teams after them all got the results which knocked them out of the competition. And that drama at the end will certainly be on show in the remaining 20 minutes of normal time here. Mo Salah chasing history as well as that knockout win. He's 2 goals short of Sam Hassan's Egypt record. And the manager deciding how long Mo Salah might be able to be risking this game. Whenever he's on the pitch, he can provide quality. And he can certainly provide a late goal as well. Australia, they came through the AFC qualifying after a turbulent start under Graham Arnold. A home defeat to Bahrain and a draw to Indonesia triggered a coaching reset before Tony Popovic steadied the campaign and secured direct qualification. Egypt came through the CAF qualifying with Mo Salah central to the attack. And Hassan building a side that is cohesive, committed, and usually hard to score against as well. As they've tried to prove that during this competition. But they have found themselves frail at times as Australia ready. Some reinforcements as well with Ajin Hrustik, the Heracles Almelo. Man readying himself on the near side, but we are back underway from the hydration break, and Australia immediately trying to attack down the right-hand side. Challenge goes in, but Australia is still in possession. Whip cross in towards the box, looking for Irakunda, but it's an excellent clearance out again by the Egyptian defence, and now they'll try and counter down this right-hand side. It's with the substitute, Hassan just trying to stretch his legs against Babic, but Babic just gets himself in front, puts it out for a throw-in, which stops any counter-attack from the Egyptians. So Sam Hassan himself, the coach, tries to get hold of the ball and get Egypt back on in possession, and I wonder what the coaches have been saying during the hydration break. Australia and Popovic has been saying keep on going. You had the momentum. It's the one thing that I think most fans dislike about the hydration break is how it can take away from the momentum of a team, and it allows a tactical reset for the other. But we've got 18 minutes to go in regular time here. If it's a draw at the end of 90 minutes, it goes to extra time. It's a draw after that, it goes to penalties, which I'm not entirely against after spending about 2 hours looking at every player's penalty stats over the last 2 days. So I don't want them to go to waste. I might just rack through them all at the end of the game if it ends up ending before that anyway, just so they don't go wasted. But here's Egypt trying not to waste the possession themselves. Hafez brings it back in towards the middle, then shipped across towards the right-hand side towards Hani. Takes a lovely chest down, and he's got Hassan to support behind him. Finds him and closed down quickly. Tries to pull it on to his left, but there's no one inside the area in red. So finds Hani once again. He cuts the early crossing, goes back out towards the edge of the box, and the short just snaps at it and drags it well wide of the goal. But Egypt in that final third just haven't found the real quality that Australia have had in terms of putting some pressure on. And the Aussies now will be able to make a change with Christian Volpata making his way off the Sassuolo man. And they'll make 2 changes, in fact, with Irakunda, the Watford forward, also making his way on. And it is 2 striking changes with Arjin Hrustik and Mohamed Toure, the Norwich forward, born in a Guinea refugee camp, raised opposite a football pitch in South Australia from a family full of footballers. He makes his way on to try and add a little bit of quality up front for the Socceroos. They've now made 3 changes in this game to Egypt's 2. Hrustik himself, he's a left-footed lockpicker and a set-piece threat. He defended the Paraguay draw because tournament football rewards results, and that's exactly what it rewarded for both of those 2 sides. And Paraguay certainly showed it in the next round that by doing that, you can be rewarded even more. that rather spectacular penalty win against Germany. They held on in a game against a very talented German side who just can't seem to get through knockout stages. Plenty of questions being asked of that German side. Nagelsmann has already resigned and Klopp is already the wanted man. And down the left-hand side, it's Toure trying to get hold of the ball and put his weight about. Early on after entering.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.
Australia back on the ball once again, moving across towards the far side. 12 minutes to go in this game. Still 1-1 between these two sides. Can either find a winner late on in this contest. It's Australia who are showing real quality in this second half and trying to work them way down the right hand side again, but Hafez steps in and out it goes for an Egyptian free kick as the referee comes across. And awards the free kick to the Egyptians. 11.5 minutes to go. Is there a final twist and a turn in this game? Plenty for these sides here to try and impose themselves, but there is going to be an Egyptian change late on as Hafez is going to be forced off. And we spoke about those limited options that Egypt had on the bench defensively. And one of those that can still come on as a defender is Tarek Allah. He's back with Pyramids after being on loan at Z this season. He'd come on for his fourth appearance, but instead they're going to go attacking. Egypt. They're going to bring on Trezeguet, the Al Ali man. He scored against New Zealand. He brings Premier League Turkey and Al Ali big game experience. And he makes his way on for Karim Hafez, who got the assist in the first half. As they try and go for a winner late on. Egypt, neither of these sides want to go to extra time. Neither certainly want to go to penalties. And Australia, the referee didn't stop it for a free kick. I thought he was racing over to give a free kick to Hafez, but instead it was a throw-in award, and Australia had given it straight back to Egypt rather sportingly. They are just showing a child in the crowd with some earmuffs on, fast asleep in this game, and I'm not too sure it's the game you really want to blink and miss. As he goes down this near left-hand side for Australia, going to win a free kick again. 5 yards off the near touchline, just in front of Tony Popovic and the Australian dugout, as we're into the final embers of regular time. And O'Neill has looked threatening every time he stood over the ball from a set piece in this second half. A peach of a ball gave them a leveller. 10 minutes in to the second period, and he stands over it once again from this near side. One in the wall as he was floated again towards the far side, looking towards Suter. Managed to get there. Rise high as it comes back out towards the edge of the area. Can't quite sit down for anyone in gold and green, and then cleared away and hacked forward once more by Australia. In towards Torre, then into Suter, who tried to come in, but he took out a man in the protest, Suter. And he is a big boulder of a centre half. And he just came charging in, the Australian captain, and the Egyptians are crowding around the referee, saying there was something more in that than perhaps the referee initially could have seen. A leading elbow they're trying to claim, and we'll have to have another look at it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Egypt trying to play to the referee. They're trying to play to VAR. Rabi is back to his feet. And VAR and the referee won't be fooled that easily on this occasion. The referee, in fact, has had a very good game. As the Uruguayan, he's really not had to do too much in what he has had to do. He's done fairly well, apart from one should have been a corner kick in the first half to Australia, but again, that's a bit of VAR's failing and not being allowed to call a goal kick a corner. But here come Egypt down the left-hand side. First real opportunity over the last 10-15 minutes or so to get in the box with Trezeguet, but he loses out possession, and then Australia clear it out, and it comes off a man in, read it out for a goal kick to those in gold and green. And it was good defensive work from Truin. He just held on to Trezeguet, wouldn't allow him to get it behind the back line. And then linking up with Zakati and Suter, who again cleared it out. And what a goal kick for those Socceroos. Suter with a power header, but he goes all the way through towards Chabert in the goal away to the left-hand side. 7 minutes of normal time to play here before we have another 30 minutes or so. Egypt tries to get hold of the ball with Mo Salah once again. Tries to flick it round the corner. Not had a very good game, Mo Salah, but Egypt will win a thrown halfway inside the Australian half, as it's just a lazy pass out to the near side, and tiredness is just starting to seep in to these players. They've all given it absolutely everything. Have the Socceroos. They'll never have a better opportunity to win a knockout game. They lost to Argentina 2-1 in 2022. Messi and Alvarez on the score sheet then. And they lost by 1-0 as well to Italy in the 2006 competition. The 95th minute penalty that Francesco Totti put away. They went on to win it, as did Argentina. Egypt might have thought that was a bit of a good omen for them coming into this game, as they're trying to get themselves a little bit more in possession in this second half, as Australia have levelled it up in that stat. They were 70-30 down at one point with the Socceroos, and now it's a 50-50 split with Australia still trying to control the ball, but it's Egypt at the moment in the possession. halfway inside the Socceroos half. Moved by Ashore to Hani, who scored that own goal on this near right-hand side. Just lays it a yard or so towards Hassan, trying to do a little bit of trickery and a step over. Drives towards the byline to take on Bajic. Cross in towards the box, towards the far side. Goes over the top of everyone and then it's picked up over on the far side by Ibrahim. His pass back in towards the middle's charged down by Toure, who forces Egypt back to the halfway line once more. Ibrahim again sends it down to Hassan. If Australia accepted extra time at this point, is a lovely cross in from him. Hani goes towards the penalty spot. Quid back out towards Attia on the edge of the box. Can't quite find his man with the shot, or try and find the goal with the shot, but it comes back out towards Ashore. Finds his man on the right-hand side in Hassan. Floats it towards the far side, and a good diving punch from Patrick Beach, who had to be alert inside his box. Came off his line well and just cleared it out towards the halfway line with a beautiful Superman punch. We've seen time and time again goalkeepers doing that and missing it completely with a big egg on their face. But on that occasion, showing real quality on young shoulders from the 22-year-old goalkeeper. Whipped in again, this time by Hassan, but cleared out by Australia once more to the halfway line. Now they pick up the second ball with Irving, just lifts it towards the left-hand side. Lovely little ball through towards the right, and Australia trying to counter-attack late on. Toure making a dart in towards the box. It's over on the far right-hand side, but superb defending. Still with the Aussies, trying to cut it back and eventually hacked away by the Egypt defence. And it was just well played by Australia. It was a beautiful ball laid towards the right-hand side. In towards Rustic, who couldn't quite find the pass. Comes back out towards the right-hand side again for Australia, and it's Truant who tries to get the cross in. It comes off an Egyptian and out for a corner kick. And the Socceroos trying to find a winner late on here in Dallas. They're going to take the time with the corner kick. The Egyptians inside the box. Rabi are trying to rally the troops. The Australian fans trying to get behind their side as Rustic comes across to take it. It's his 39th appearance for the national team for the 29-year-old. Being told to wait from the referee for it. Now they're going to try a different set-piece routine with everyone inside the 6-yard box. There's 6 in there. Goes towards a near post, flicked all the way through, and Suter gets himself on the end of it, but ends up doing a defensive header more than anything else. He tried to stoop low enough to flick it on. Play back in towards the box, and it's a good punch out this time by Chaubert. 2.5 minutes to play. The referee's going to be bought on this near side by the Egyptians, who were able to clear the lines, and it's one of those I really don't like in football. Defender just looks behind and sees a man coming in, and before the player's even there, they're already halfway down to the ground. And that's what Ashore did. He just waited for the most delicate of touches from O'Neill and goes down to the deck and wins his side a free kick. But the Egyptians in the crowd certainly won't care about what I think. Ashore in the centre circle, moves it to the near right-hand side in towards Hassan. One of these two sides has either Argentina or Cape Verde in the round of 16, and darting down the right-hand side is Hassan. He goes down rather sloppily on the near side and right in front of the official, who I think just laughed at him a little bit there. He again felt the slight touch from Bajic, and on this occasion the referee and the linesman aren't going to accept that one, and I'd personally be booking Hassan for that blatant simulation on the right-hand side. If he was in the box, it certainly would have been. But at this stage of the game, you've got to try those types of things, and I certainly don't blame him for doing that. 60 seconds to go, plus time added on in regular time here in Dallas. Is there a late twist to this tale? Neither side wants to lose it. Both sides want to win it. But can one come up trumps in America? If you'll pardon the pun, it wasn't intended. Didn't particularly want to mention him in this game, but there you go. Ashore, inside his own half, works it back towards Rabi. And Hossam, who's also now sitting as one of the back two. Attia, 10 yards inside the Australian half, just moves it back in a centre circle towards a Shaw, who's been all over the pitch for Egypt in this game. He's had a very good game. As the midfielder got a goal to his name as well. Equally Attia as well has been excellent for the Pharaohs as 90 minutes comes up on the clock here. We're waiting for the Swiss fourth official to inform us of how much time will be added on at the end of this game. Lofton towards the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's a lovely little header back, and the Aussie just going to clear it out, and it goes for a corner kick. 5 minutes added on by Sharar. The fourth official, the Egyptians in the stands are praying as they look to the heavens. The Australians look to their pints and go, and hope that that might give them a little bit of liquid luck as well. But it's Marmoush who goes across to the far side of the pitch to take this corner kick. 5 inside the box. Egypt trying not to overcommit late on. They go short towards the left corner of the area. It's floated in towards the box, towards the far side. Bounces over one, bounces over two. Salah just about keeps it in. Moves it across towards this left corner, right corner of the penalty area to Hassan. He tries to float one towards the far side of the box. Takes a flick on. A slip for the Egyptian over on the far side of Hossam, the substitute from Zamalek, and it's cleared out by Australia, and it's Egypt trying to find a winner inside stoppage time. 4 minutes of injury time to play. We've seen late goals go in this competition. Is there going to be one more here? Hassan, he's been lively since he's come on, drives onto that trusty left foot, swings it again towards the far side. One little touch by Trezeguet, but then loses it out as good defensive work from Truin to get himself between man and ball. Half clears it towards a short on the far side of the pitch. Tries to look up, but there's Truin once again. Excellent defending from the right back who's come on. And he's been under plenty of pressure down that left-hand side of the Egyptian attack. As the red and whites come again. Hani on the right-hand side, back towards Hassan. He's got 2 Australian players for company. Bit of movement as well from Hani. Decides to go down towards the right, pulls it back towards the edge of the area, met though well by Irving. Clears it back out towards this near side, and Toure, who's deep inside his own half, has to do defensive work, and I think he's played it straight out for a corner kick, trying to play it off an Egyptian, and he's gifted an opportunity for the Pharaohs late on to test Patrick Beach and this Australian defence inside stoppage time, and Mo Salah is straight over to the corner. The Egyptian captain, he's not thinking about a goal for himself at this stage of the game. Hassan is short on the edge, on the right corner of the penalty area once more. Australia have finally seen it. Now Salah might look to put it in towards the box. They've very rarely done that from corners. He has done on this occasion. Towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Suter gets there highest. Just goes high in the air and then cleared out by Irving. Down towards Mo Salah. First touch is a good one. Pulls it back towards Attia. Returns it in towards Salah. First time cross towards the 6-yard. It's a lovely ball in, and what a save! That is from Beach. And that is why the 22-year-old is between the sticks for the Socceroos. What a ball from Mo Salah. Met beautifully in the box. Patrick Beach was going one way, the ball was going another, and his outstretched left hand, a strong left hand, just puts it over the top of his own bar. And that could well be the saviour for Australia. It's Marmoush who puts it in. Suter with the clearance out. Mo Salah with the volley. And it's straight into the hands of Beach once more. And from a stunning save to a meat and drink catch. What a moment for the young 22-year-old. He's kept 2 clean sheets in his competition so far. But it was a beautiful ball in from Salah on a button for Rabia charging in. And the centre half, who's done that a few times with the head late on for the Egyptians. I'm sure when he connected, he thought that that was going to be the moment. But what a save from this goalkeeper, who may still have plenty to do in this game. Into the final 60 seconds on the edge of the area. Atsi trying to just snap at it, but runs into plenty of Australian defenders. That wall is standing strong so far late on. And unlike the game against Iran, it's Egypt trying to find the winner. Australia clear it out with 30 seconds to go as stoppage time. Everyone is nervous here. I'm nervous and I'm English for both of these two sides. One of them will make history and one of them will have earned it. Because what a 90 minutes this has been between two sides that are equal on paper. They're equal in stature. They're equal in rankings as well, but here's Mo Salah, who's by far and away the best player on the pitch and has one of the best careers. Moves it towards the near side, and what a deflection again from Suter, this time getting a block in. The captain, in the dying seconds of the game, it was pulled back towards Hassan, who tried to go for it with his weak peg, and Suter was there, and that's the end of regular time. And what a 90 minutes, and what an end that is to that game, this game here in Dallas. A first half which showed both sides' best and worst qualities under the immense pressure, led to an entertaining 45. Egypt took the lead early for the second game running after a set piece on the left was blocked by Irvin. The second cross that came in from Hafez was met by Ashaw, who peeled off his man and knocked it into the bottom right-hand corner of Beach's goal. Australia hit the bar through Volpato and tested Chaubert through Bajic, but couldn't find a level before the break, despite growing into the game to go down at half-time, with Egypt leading by a goal to nil. The second half, within seconds, Omar Mamouche should have given Egypt a bit of breathing room. A lovely ball through, straight from kickoff, found him one-on-one, and you would have thought the net was going to go rustling as soon as he found himself in that position, but he put it wide of Beach's goal, and that woke up the Aussies in the second half. They continued then to come at Egypt, and then a wonderful free kick from O'Neill was put into his own net by Hani, who was under pressure from the big centre half of Suter and the big young man of Lucas Harrington. It was then end-to-end in this game, both sides trying to go for it, putting everything on the line, and then right at the end, Mo Salah's ball into the box, picked out Rabiot, whose header looked destined for the back of the net, before a fine save from Patrick Beach going the wrong way, with a big strong left hand to put it over the top of his own crossbar. And at the end of regular time, Australia won, Egypt won, and we go to extra time. Excuse me, grab yourself a drink, because there's still plenty to go in this game. I'm just going to have a quick 10-second break while I try and catch my breath from that end. Because there is still plenty more to go in this game. We've seen this tournament have almost everything. We've already had 2 penalty shootouts. We've already had nearly penalty shootouts as well, with Belgium scoring in the dying seconds against Senegal to overturn a 2-0 deficit. And a very late penalty in added time of extra time. But what can the next 30 minutes hold? 2 halves of 15 minutes to go. Australia and Egypt both trying to find their place in history here in Dallas, Arlington. The indoor stadium factor, the heat's outside. But during the game, it certainly found its way in and on the pitch as well. It's a stage built for big American sports. But tonight it's 2 sides who've never done it on the big stage, trying to find their big moment. For Australia, this is West Coast to Texas, reset after the Santa Clara draw. For Egypt, it's a move from group stage chaos to straight knockout fun. Which side is going to come through? Tony Popovic and Hossam Hassan both going through. The conversations they're having with their players, trying to rally the troops. Both will be able to make an extra change in stoppage time as well. Both have made 3 changes already, so both will have 3 more that they can make. But who do they bring on? Australia have plenty of experience in defence. They've got our Mabil as well, the Castellon man, who's got 10 goals in 38 appearances for the national team. From barefooting Kukuma to Young Australian of the Year. He has a wonderful humanitarian story and how that would love a final piece to it on this very, very tense evening. Salah and Suter meet in the middle once again with the Uruguayan referee to flip the coin. It might not be the last time that happens this evening. Mo Salah wins the toss and says, "You can pick, I'm not too bothered, it doesn't really matter." Australia will make a change. Coming off is Aidan O'Neill, whose set piece brought Australia level. And coming on is Okon Engstele, the Sydney FC man, the son of Socceroo Paul Okon, schooled at Benfica. Part of that Turkey win with an assist, and the man we mentioned moments ago in Mabil also making his way on for Metcalfe. So 2 changes for Australia. They've used 5 of what can be their 6 now, and we are underway in the first period of extra time. And it's Australia who are going to be going from left to right in this first period, and they have a free kick immediately on this near right hand side, halfway inside the Egypt half. And it's true in the man who came on at the start of the second half for Boss, who just took a little bit of an elbow from Trezeguet, who tried to rise highest for the ball. So 2 changes made for Australia, and it will be the first yellow card issued by the referee, and I think it's gone to Hossam Hassan on the near side for his protestations on the challenge. I'm not too sure he could have had too much to actually protest about in that one. The Egyptian coach, it was a leading elbow that went in, and a yellow card issued nonetheless by the referee. But with no O'Neill on the ball, it's left to the substitute Mabil. Mabil to stand over it, puts it in towards the centre of the Egypt box, cleared back out towards this near right hand side. Mabil back on the ball again, a little flick round the corner, returns it back towards the man who's just made his way on. He tries to feed it in towards the penalty area, but good recovery work from Rabia to just get across ahead of Hrustic, who was charging in from the middle of the box towards the right hand side. 1-1 between these 2 sides. 2 minutes gone in the first period of extra time. Egypt on the ball with the very lively Hassan. Flicks it towards Trezeguet, who takes a nice little touchdown. Tries to drive towards the byline, but runs into a bit of traffic and comes back towards the shore. Trying to take on Truin once again, who stands strong. So forces Egypt back towards the centre circle and in towards Hossam. Over towards the far side now. In towards Mo Salah, just coming back to try and get hold of the ball a little bit more than he was able to in the opening 90 minutes, and it's a couple of minutes of that of regular time when he got hold of it. Egypt all of a sudden started to do something, but also with this man Hassan, they found something. Comes out towards the right hand side in towards Salah, and he puts it over the top of the bar on the half volley. It just managed to squeeze its way through to him. Hassan tried to put the cross in. It was Suter who got the header down. Bit of a 50p that ended in towards Mo Salah. And over the years, you would have backed him to have tucked that away from the angle. But on that occasion, he couldn't challenge Beach in the goal. And it's a let-off for Suter and a let-off for Australia as well. As Suter sends it towards Trewin on the near touchline. Rabiot wins the first header, but then it falls to an Australian defender again in Trewin on the near right-hand side. He'll just put it down into the corner, and down goes Shaw once again, who's won that same free kick he's done a couple of times in this game. Just puts himself between the ball and Toure, and then flops onto the ground, and the linesman right in front of him obliges by giving a free kick, and he gives a wry smile as he gets back to his feet. When the 28-year-old scored against Belgium, scored today. Egypt's roaring number 10. Oh, he's in that, sorry, he can play in that roaming number 10. We'll see, Mo Salah is Egypt's number 10. Trezeguet again, down the left-hand side, 3 in gold around him. Tries to play it towards Mo Salah on the edge of the area, but it's cleared back out. But Trezeguet alive to it, picks up the loose ball. Tries to flick it in towards Marmouche, who can't quite get the ball under control as it finds its way back to Beach inside his own penalty area again. 5 minutes gone in the first period of extra time here. It is a very, very nervy affair. The Australians, who are loud in the crowd, started to quiet down a little bit. Even a few extra beers doesn't quite help. If you have ever been to an American sporting event, you sort of tend to drink before you go into the ground rather than when you're actually in it. They like to charge quite the hefty fee for an alcoholic beverage, or even just a beverage in general, in fact. Went over to Florida a few weeks ago, and there it was quite expensive as well. But they love to put on a show, as they're going to try and show us in the final with that 30-minute half-time break, which again, not a big fan of. As it's given away by Australia cheaply on the edge of their own area, almost finding Trezeguet, who can't quite get himself in ahead of Ocon Ensler, who managed to clear the ball away in towards Irving. Dances past one and then past two. Gives it in towards Toure, who goes down on the halfway line under plenty of pressure from Hossam behind him. And the referee will pull it back for a free kick for a foul on Irving moments ago. 1-1 here then. You can watch this game through your local network provider. They'll bring you the pictures, we'll bring you the sound. You're listening to an independent studio-based off-tube commentary of this round of 32 game. And what a game it has been between these two sides. They're giving it their all, leaving absolutely everything on their pitch. Whatever happens, both can be proud of how they have performed. As tiredness slowly starts to seep in. Beich almost gives the ball away, but it's recovered on the halfway line by those in gold and green once again. It's pushed over to the far side by Ocon Ensler, down in towards the edge of the area, in towards Beich, trying to turn and run past two, and ran into a brick wall that was Mohamed Hani. Beich is saying he left an elbow in on his right side of his head, but it was more of just a coming together. Good defending from Hani in the end there. And it's been excellent defending really from both sides, with both teams trying to go from it. Rabiot at the back, and Al Ali Academy product in Egypt, now plays for Al Ain. He's been a trusted 2025 regular under Hossam Hassan. He brought that then into the African Cup of Nations in 2026, to which Egypt lost on penalties in the third place playoff to Nigeria. They won't want it to go to penalties, Egypt. Their recent record isn't one that we'll want to look at. They've lost 4 in a row. They've had 13 in total. And Australia have the best penalty shootout record in the competition. They have the best penalty shootout of any side in the competition who's been involved in more than one. Their last came in a qualifying playoff in 2022. And they beat Peru 5-4. Matty Ryan was the keeper on that day, but he's watching on from the sideline so far. There's still plenty of time to go before we have to deal with a potential penalty shootout, as Egypt tried to put a cross in from the box, into the box from the far side, but it's a poor one from Hassan on that occasion and goes out for a throw into Australia, level with the edge of their own penalty area. We've got 6.5 minutes to go inside the first half of extra time. Truin comes across to take the throw. Takes his time with it. There's still some smiles inside the grounds. Both sets of fans still trying to get behind their team. It's all you can do, really. Egypt still have a few potential changes to make, to which Hossam Hassan might be waiting to see whether it goes to penalties or not. Saber can certainly be one that steps up. Zizou always puts himself forward. Abdelmonem, who was injured from the last game, is always one that steps up as well. Mo Salah, of course, but he's missed his last 2 penalties for the national team. So there's so many choices that need to be made between now and the end of the game, unless the players on the pitch can take away any difficult decision that Popovic and Hassan might have to make on the touchline. It's with the number 12, Hassan, over on the far side of the pitch. Pulled back and played in towards the box, flicked on towards the left-hand side and then cleared out for a throw-in again to Australia. And it just doesn't quite have the energy this game inside extra time that it had in normal regular time. I think as the game does start to get to the very final embers, we might see one of these two sides going for it just like we did in 90 minutes. Toure tries to link up with Okon Ensler. Australia win the ball back, but the referee gives a free kick Egypt's way. Just over 10 yards inside the Australian half, right in the middle of Shaw once again. Over the last 15 minutes of the game time or so, has spent a little bit more time on the deck than he has on his feet. But he's doing the job that Egypt need him to do, and that's keeping possession with the Pharaohs. Over on the far side with Hassan, he's got 2 in gold for company. Pulls it back towards Hani, who's through ball, looking towards Mo Salah's a poor one, and goes out for a goal kick. And the Australians under a little bit of pressure now. Egypt holding on to the ball. Australia just sitting back, inviting that pressure onto them. It's flicked around the corner by Truin, tries to retrieve his own pass. Manages to get the second ball and does ever so well. It's then sent down the right-hand side. It just about goes out. Mabil was trying to get hold of it. It looks like a little bit of a tight one, but it was right over the top of the head of the Uruguayan linesman on this near side. And I think he may have just got the right decision there or thereabouts. As Egypt have the ball and will come again. Ibrahim moves it across towards the far side of the pitch. Hassan comes inside his own half to get hold of the ball once again. Just over 3 minutes to play in this first period of extra time. Atia, who's been excellent in this game, moves it in towards Trezeguet. Returns it back towards Atia, who switches the play towards the far right-hand side in towards Hani. Certainly proved me that he's fine to continue after going down in what looked like a really awkward challenge. The long-range effort comes in, but it's very, very wide by Shaw. He looked up, he saw the lights, and then almost hit the corner flag. But between Atia and Hassan, they're causing Australia a little bit of trouble over the last 20 minutes or so. Hassan in particular, since he has come on. Atia controlling the midfield. But Irvin as well has been excellent in the middle of the park for Australia, particularly in that first half. Suter at the back and O'Neill, who got the assist. It came off Hani's head moments after he looked to be out cold for a moment or two. On the pitch, he was quickly rushed into the recovery position. But fair play to the Egyptian players for might not necessarily had to have done it, but you never know. It's better to be safe than sorry. As a wild ball from Australia just goes forward and out for a goal kick again. Rabia trying to get on with it quickly as he just plays it off the pitch back to his goalkeeper in Mustafa Shobet. His 13th appearance in the goal for the national team. As Egypt try to come again with the ball. 60 seconds plus stoppage time to go in this fixture. With extra time, it gets us closer as well to the next game between Argentina and Cape Verde, which kicks off in an hour 45. I think the whole world is hoping for a Cape Verde upset there as Australia tried to make their way forward, and it will be a yellow card. And the first one took him out for a player as the Uruguayan referee gives it to Hassan, who was just pulling back Baic, who finally got the better of him, just trying to attack down the left-hand side. And the referee issuing the first booking to a player on the pitch. And it will mean Australia have a free kick right at the end of this first half. It's Rustics who's going to stand over it. It's a bit of a difficult angle. It's level with the far side of the penalty area though, but it's closer to the halfway line than it is to the penalty box. Egypt keeping 7 players on the edge of the D. Rustic will try and force it towards the far side of the penalty area, but it's just about dealt with by Egypt and goes out for a throw-in as 105 minutes are up on the clock, and the referee, he's not going to allow the long throw to be taken by Sakati, and we will go into the final 15 minutes of this game, all square. It's 1-1 between Australia and Egypt in what has been a wonderful game. There will be a change that will be made on the touchline as well, but I can't quite see which side it's going to be for. No players, excuse me, have any players ready on the side of the pitch, but I believe it's going to be Hamza Abdel Karim, who came on late against Iran as well, who's going to make his way on for Omar Mamouche, and that's the end of him, and that could well be his opportunity to have scored in this major competition for the first time in his career, in his 54th appearance, aged 27. He started on the bench against Iran. He was central to Egypt's knockout attacking quality. And he had a huge opportunity, 10 seconds inside the second half, to win it for the Pharaohs, but they're going to have to do it themselves now without him. I'll run you through the teams again at the start of this half, because there's been plenty of changes now. Both sides have made 5 each. Both will still have... Sorry, Australia have made 5. Egypt have made 4. But Abdel Karim, who's recently moved from Al Ali to the Barcelona B team, the 18-year-old. They calling him the Egyptian Haaland. He's a prospect. He's a teenage body to body, box to box option. You can get him in the box as well. You can tell this game's going on later. Words struggle to come out at that point. But we're 15 minutes away from the third penalty shootout of the competition, and we're back underway. Egypt going from left to right in their red, white and black. Australia in their gold, green and white. You'll have surmised, therefore, for the 4th time, going from right to left, which means the squads in the final 15 minutes, as Egypt have it just inside their own box and playing around rather luckily, and then give it away on this near side towards Beric. Or Beric just chasing it down and getting hold of it. Comes back out again towards the left-hand side. Cross swung in towards the far post, looking towards Toure, who couldn't quite get the connection on the header as it goes out for a goal kick to Egypt. And Egypt were just passing it around themselves on the edge of their own penalty area and foolishly almost gave a clear opportunity to Australia. Bejic latched onto it, played it into the box, looking for Toure, who couldn't quite find the header. So Beach is in the goal for the Australians. Truin, Zakati, Suter and Harrington are the back line. We've got Toure, Ocon, Engsler, Irvine, Bejic, Mabel and Hrustic in the remainder of the Australian team, as they're all playing everywhere at this stage of the game, trying to keep their shape. And Australia win a free kick a couple of yards off the edge of their own penalty area to just slow the clock down a little bit more for Egypt. They've got Chaubert. In the goal, Hani, Rabia, Atiyah Ashore, Salah, Abdel, Maguire for Sam, Trezeguet, Abdel Karim and Haissim Hassan as well. All on the pitch for this second half of extra time. And try and work out exactly where everyone's playing. Mo Salah has moved from the right-hand side back into the middle once again. It's frantic on the pitch, it's frantic tactically as well for both of these two sides with just 12 and a half minutes to go. There are tired legs on this pitch in the round of 32. It's going to be a memorable night for one of these two sides. It's going to be heartbreak for the other. Toure down the right-hand side just tries to fizz it across the box, looking across that corridor of uncertainty, but just couldn't keep it down. And frankly, there was nobody even close to being there to tuck it home. Even the closest man, Hrustic, was just coming in off the edge of the penalty area. Maybe he was going for goal, not too sure of it, as a short sweeps it clear. Poor first touch in the middle allows Egypt to pick up the loose ball. An equally poor clearance again in towards the middle gives Australia possession, but Mo Salah goes down inside the centre circle and wins a free kick again as he punches the floor in frustration. I mean, he wasn't able to get away and find the pass. It's a slight pull on his right arm as he tried to tuck it through the legs of Mabel. But a cross came. The Australian. Ocon Engsler to take him out. Hassan down the right-hand side in towards the shore. Pulls it back a little bit more central, looking for the opportunity. Ramati, who goes for goal. Oh, it almost took a wicked deflection on the way through, and Beach stayed onto his feet. And thank God he is, because he was almost in absolute no man's land. Beached, if you will, in the wrong direction. Atiyah took strike, looking for the bottom right corner. It came off the standing foot of Suter. And almost wrong-footed. Beach in the goal. Now it's the opportunity for Australia to attack down the left-hand side. Played in towards the middle again, looking for Hrustic, who can't find the return pass. And it's cleared back out to Mo Salah, who's forced to the ground by Harrington, and the referee will pull it back for another free kick taken quickly, but the referee says rolling ball. 11 minutes to go. Now we're starting to see both sides going for it. It can't be won in that opening 15 minutes of injury time. It can in the second. Well, technically it could. Well, we want to be sort of pedantic, but I think you get the point. Comes out towards Hani on this near side. I only say that because I would be the person that's pedantic to question it, to be fair. Hani pulls it down towards the near side again towards Hassan. But excellent since he's come on in that second half. Really given some vigour to the attack of Egypt as his cross just comes off a man in goal, though comes back off him. And Australia just about clear the lines for a throw to Egypt on this near side. Taken quickly in towards Hassan, but the referee not too sure what he's pulled it back for, whether Hani was part way onto the pitch or not, but it still will be an Egypt throw. Takes it anyway and finds Atiyah in the middle. Pulls it back again towards Ibrahim. Moves it across towards Hossam. Over to the far side again towards Hafez. Back again in the middle towards Ibrahim. Keeps it moving towards this right-hand side. 1-1 is the scoreline. You can watch this game through your local TV provider. And I'll bring you the sound of this game here in Dallas One of these two sides will be delirious in Dallas. Could be the name of a song. Maybe I'm going delirious. Atia plays it towards the edge of the D. Tries to find Abdel Karim. Can't quite wiggle it free and find the turn going in towards the area. Man goes down for Egypt, but the referee in a good position to wave it away. Pass out, can't find Toure. And Egypt get hold of the ball once again, and they're looking the most likely to find a goal inside the final 9 minutes of extra time here. Working it away towards Mo Salah on the right-hand side. Overlap comes in from Hani. Mo Salah comes it back to the left in towards Shaw, who goes for goal, and Souta's there once again. The goalkeeper flailing towards the right-hand side, but Souta, the big man, has been an absolute brick wall in front of goal and denies Egypt and Shaw another goal. And before this tournament, Shaw had played 29 games and hadn't scored. And he's looking for his third and second in the game as Mo Salah's ball in from the corner was almost perfect in the 6-yard box. Dealt with well, though, by Australia. Back towards Mo Salah by Atiyah down the right-hand channel. He's got one for company. Standing off, Hassan breaks it down to the right-hand byline once again, and his cross is blocked by Irvin and out for another corner kick. And the pressure's on. Mo Salah takes the corner quickly. Looked like a rolling ball. Can't have the return passes in offside position. Comes back out towards Hani. Floats it towards the far side. Takes a flick on from an Egyptian. And Trezeguet won't keep it in. And a reprieve for the Australians. In extra time here. I think I am going a little bit delirious as this game goes on. But with 7.5 minutes to go, we could still well have the nervous tension of a penalty shootout. Neither side wants that. I think every neutral does. There's got to be another goal or penalties in this game. Mo Salah driving from the right-hand side, forces his way into the area, skips past one down the right, and then a superb block that comes in again from the Australian defence. They're getting bodies back in numbers. It's heroic from the Socceroos. Mo Salah showing glimpses of his pass there, just dancing between four on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Just couldn't quite squirm it past the on-rushing defence that came in back in numbers. Salah tries to play the corner towards the near post. Poor one from him on that occasion. Comes back out towards Atiyah. Sends it higher than Bob Marley towards the edge of the area once more, but the highest man inside the ground, height-wise, Souta gets under it. On the first instance, out towards Trezeguet on the far side. Tries to shuffle it towards his right and put a cross in. Now Australia can try and counter-attack over on the far side with Mobile, but he doesn't have anyone for company and turns back rather sensibly to get the Socceroos on the ball and to try and set the tempo over the next 60 seconds at least or so, as momentum was swinging further into Egypt's favour as Mo Salah tries to chase down Harrington, who goes back towards his keeper. Nice little flick over towards the right-hand side for Australia once again. Just inside their own half with Sakati. Sends it down the right-hand channel towards Struin, who's running ahead of Sam, and he's furious that Struin on the far side. He thought he had a corner kick. The linesman gives a goal kick. And once again, with the rule that's come in, just give a corner kick and let VAR decide if it's a corner or not. It's a silly rule that works one way but not the other. So if that's the case, just give a corner. You can never get them wrong. Loose pass in towards the middle, intercepted well by Hani halfway inside his own half. 5 minutes to go before that penalty shootout. We saw late drama the other night between Belgium and Senegal with a penalty in the 123rd minute of that game. Is there another twist here? Hassan racing down the right-hand side, pulls it back again, and it's another superb tackle from Harrington. He's catching the eye of Barcelona, and he's catching the eye of those in the crowd as well, with a beautiful last-ditch tackle on the edge of the 6-yard box. Hassan dancing through two on the right-hand side, breaking towards the byline, looking for the cross again. As we have a brief stoppage, there's another ball on the pitch. Mo Salah will come across just to get it out. And now he's getting the ball, and the game back underway again. Sends it to Atia, plays it into Mo Salah's in a bit of a better angle, but just like his previous one, it's a poor one. Comes back out to him rather fortuitously though, and he gets hold of the ball on the third attempt. Australia can't clear the lines. 4 minutes to go in this game. All hands on deck for Australia, and it's all attack for Egypt. The ball comes in, whipped in from deep, and it goes all the way out for a throw on the opposite side of the pitch, and you can just feel the energy going out of the Egyptian players there. Australia make their way over nonchalantly to the far side of the pitch. They've got to be a little bit quicker. You don't want to give a throw-in away here. The referee, the Uruguayan's got to start counting down soon against the Socceroos. It's 6:30 in the morning on the east coast of Sydney. The Australians are waking up. They've probably been awake all night, to be honest with you. I imagine the pubs are still open. But they're waking up to potentially see their side hope to make history here, with Mobile down the left-hand side, trying to cut it onto his right, goes down under the challenge, and what an opportunity this is. Hani left his leg in on Mobile. And Australia have a free kick 2 yards off the edge of the penalty area in a really good shooting opportunity. It was a lazy leg from Hani. He gave away an own goal 10 minutes into the second half, and now he's given a free kick away. Heads are in hands from the fans in the stands. Sound like Dr. Seuss for a moment. But there's three standing over it. Don't think Suter's going to be the one to take it. But Mobile and Rustic are the men that one of them will be trusted with this. What tends that you see in games like this, you start to see the children crying at some point. There will be tears for one of these two sides. 3 in the wall. Mobile looks like he's going to take it. On his right, straight into the wall though, as Shaw just sticks out a right leg, and that's a really poor free kick given the circumstances. Really poor from the substitute. The runner went away. Moved away from it. In came the second runner in substitute, Ocon Ensler. He ran over the ball, he left it for Mobile, but it's a long throw from Sekati from the left-hand side, floated in looking towards Suter. Managed to get hold of the ball, but the referee also gives a free kick to Egypt to take it about 10 yards further forward. The referee's happy to allow play on, and Egypt just give it out. Back to Australia for a throw-in on the near side. And with frantic football, tends to come sloppy football as well. There will be a change here, and there'll be a goalkeeping change as well. As Patrick Beach makes his way off for Matty Ryan of Levante. It's his 4th major tournament, his 105th appearance. He watched Schwartz's 2005 Uruguay heroics as a teenager, and now he could add the next chapter in Australian history. He's been in this picture many times. He's faced 69 senior penalties. He's saved 12. He takes the armband off Suter as well. And with less than 60 seconds to go, he's hoping that he will be the man that can that can earn Australia a place in the round of 16. It'll be the 3rd time they make that round, but the first time they'd win a knockout. Egypt as well still want to do that. They were in the round of 16 back in 1934. If you hear anyone say they've never been in the knockout stage, they're absolutely wrong. They're in the 2nd tournament when it was a knockout competition alone. They've waited 92 years, lost 4-2 on that occasion against Hungary, when Hungary were pretty elite. As a free kick goes Australia's way. Yasser goes into the book for Egypt as the 120th minute is on the board here. And there'll be another change as well. It's going to be penalty. Changes. Saber will make his way on. I'm surprised He didn't go with Zizou. He's always been excellent to bear 1 for 1 when he's taken penalties. Zizou 3 for 4. He tends to step up first when Mo Salah isn't available, but he's not going to be able to on this occasion. And Atia, who hasn't taken a penalty for his national team, makes his way off. That will draw the clock down, but Australia have a free kick. 15 yards off the left-hand side of the penalty area. Is there a final twist in the tail? Will these changes even matter if Mobile can put a cross in here? From the left-hand side, floated towards the far side of the box. The header comes down inside the area, flicked through, and it finds its way comfortable to Chaubert. And it was almost drama again at the end of an Egypt game. The ball gets rolled out towards the near side. The referee stops the play. I don't think he's called an end to time just yet. There was a coming together inside the penalty area between Karkati, and I can't see who's down for Egypt. But I can't see how much time's going to be remaining. When we are back to feet, it's Yasser Ibrahim who's given it his all at the back. He came in after Abdelmonem's injury. The man who always steps up for the national side as well, not able to do it. He scored 4 of his 5, Abdelmonem. But he won't get the chance, and neither will Zizou. So there will be players who have only taken 1 or even none that will take them, and we go to penalties here in Dallas. The nerves continue as time continues. It's finished 1-1 after extra time of what an enthralling game of football this has been between 2 very, very even sides. The first half which showed both sides' best and worst qualities under the immense pressure of the round of 32, which led to an entertaining 45. Egypt took the lead early for the second game running after a set piece on the left was blocked by Irving. The second cross by Hafez from the right-hand side was met by Ashford, who peeled off his man and knocked a beautiful header into the bottom right corner of Beach's goal. Australia hit the bar through Volpato and tested Chaubert with Beich, but couldn't find a leveller before the break as they were growing into the game. Omar Marmoush should have given Egypt a second and some breathing room, 10 seconds into the start of the second half, when he was set free after 2 passes from the kickoff. He found his way behind the back line and spurned it past the bottom left-hand corner of Beach's goal. Hearts were in mouths, and that opened opportunities for the Socceroos. And then 10 minutes later, a free kick from the left from O'Neill, put on a button to Hani, or on a button to Suter, and he just flicked off the top of Hani's head instead and into the back of his own net. The rest of the 90 minutes was end-to-end, both sides trying to win it. Egypt late on. It was in the dying seconds of regular time that Mo Salah picked up the ball on the right, put a beautiful ball on a button again for Rabiot. But there was Patrick Beach going the wrong way, sticking out a strong left palm to put it over the top of his bar. Extra time, the first 15 minutes was very, very tentative. Both sides refused to want to lose it. And then in the next 15, both sides, particularly Egypt, tried to go for it. Mo Salah and Hassan both getting the way down the right-hand side, but heroic defending at the back from Australia takes us to penalties here. Change of goalkeeper for Australia. How will that fare? Changes to players as well for Egypt, with Saber coming on. Excuse me. Saber coming on, so he's likely going to take one as well. But Matty Ryan with the armband, can he be the hero? Someone is going to be the hero for one of these nations. It's going to be chaos as the Egyptians are showing penalties that either, I couldn't quite tell if it was ones Australia had taken or ways that Matty Ryan had gone. But I'm not too sure you need to worry about which way the goalkeeper's going to go, because he's going to try and work out which way you're going to go. Egypt have won 6 of their 13 penalty shootouts. They've lost 7, including their last 4, which includes that third place playoff loss to Nigeria back in just January at the African Cup of Nations. They've been here before in huge moments. 3 shootouts in AFCON finals, 4 in AFCON semi-finals. Mo Salah is a man that is trusted, but he's missed his last 2. How will these two sides fare coming into this? Australia themselves have the best penalty shootout record of any side in this competition, of sides that have played in more than one. Paraguay are technically the top. They played one, won one. But Australia have won 4 of their 5. Their last came in 2022 against Peru, where they won 5-4 in the qualifiers for Qatar. Salah this time wins the coin toss once again. And if you're an NFL fan, you might have enjoyed 3 coin tosses in a game. They love to gamble on coin tosses of the NFL, of the Super Bowl. But in a competition that dwarfs the Super Bowl, here in America, here in Dallas, we wait for the nerves and the tension that is about to come before us. Matty Ryan has his water bottle. He has his instructions. He hasn't played a minute of football in this competition so far. Well, until he came on in the final minute. But no Matthew Leckie, who has won them a shootout before for Australia. And they faced against the side in their 5. The team that they played against have missed 2 on all but 1 occasion. Only Japan haven't done it. And it will be Australia to go first. And it will be Harry Souttar, who had the captain's armband. Before Matty Ryan came on. He'll face Chaubert. Questions have to be asked of a centre-half going first. But he steps up. He looks a little bit nervous and tentative as he makes his way back. Chaubert's getting his final instructions. The referee moves his way to the far side. Staring down the ball is the Leicester City centre-half, Harry Souttar. Steps up, right-footed over the top of the bar. And that's what happens when you play your centre-half first in a penalty shootout. And Harry Souttar blazes it high, wide and not very handsome into the stands behind the goal. And it's advantage Egypt. He didn't look confident stepping up. Why he's taking the first penalty ahead of strikers on the pitch, ahead of players who can step up first. That is a question that has to be asked. And then the man coming up for Egypt is Chaubert. He scored his only penalty he's taken for the national team. He came on for this moment. And Matty Ryan now needs to make a save. He saved 12 at the 69 that he has faced. Chaubert with a straight run up. Matty Ryan not ready just yet. But to give Egypt the advantage here in Dallas. Saber moves across to the left-hand side, steps up, and it's got into the back of the net, but for a moment it looked like Matty Ryan was going to get there. He moved across to his right-hand side early, but just couldn't stretch out enough. But Egypt have the advantage and lead after 1 each by a 1-0. And the nerves, they now settle in for everybody here. Maybe lifted ever so briefly. Jackson Irvine, the St. Pauli captain, steps up next for the Socceroos. It's not quite desperation station yet to score from the spot. But a miss certainly gives Egypt some hope. Egypt had missed 3 of their last 13 opening penalties, not on this occasion. Irvine steps up, beautiful penalty, sends the keeper the wrong way. And that's the cool, calm and collection you want from the Sao Pauli man. He's the heartbeat of this side. He scored 14 in 86. It'll be his last ever competition, and that could be his last ever touch for the national team on the major stage. And it gives them a bit of hope and a bit of life once more. But up steps the other centre-half this time. It's Rami Rabia. He has taken a penalty before and he has scored it for the national team. Against Matty Ryan. To keep Egypt in front. The centre-half's had an excellent game. Matty Ryan goes from post to post just to try and put Rabia off a little bit more. But right-footed. The centre-half sends the keeper the wrong way, and it's a tidy finish from the centre-half. The keeper goes right. It's not the best of penalties, but it's done the job, and it keeps Egypt in front after 2, leading 2-1. And as time goes on, hope starts to set in. For one side, it starts to fade for the other. We've seen it in both penalty shootouts. A side that's leading's gone on to lose. And Mabil will step up for Australia. He's lived this before. He got the 6th and final penalty against Peru in the 2022 qualifiers to get his country to a 5th successive tournament. Now he's hoping to keep his side alive in their 6th. With his right foot once again against Chaubert. Steadies it up and it's a difficult one, but it goes in the back of the net. It's 2-2. Ice in the veins of Mabil there. Chaubert saved the penalty against Iran in the last game. I don't know if you would actually know that if you've listened to the commentary throughout the game. But he goes the wrong way, and just like the Rabia penalty moments before, the keeper goes the right way. It's not the best of penalties. And then here comes Mo Salah for Egypt. He's missed his last 2. He scored 2 of his last 4. His last 2 that he missed was when he stepped up first. He hasn't missed a penalty when he hasn't stepped up first in the lineup. He tends to either be first or last, but he's going to be third to try and keep the advantage in Egypt's favour. The Egyptian king, the Egyptian captain. It could well be his last ever touch for Egypt in this competition. Against Matty Ryan, deep breath, shuffles to his right, steps up. And it's a beautiful Panenka down the middle. And a wry smile from Mo Salah as the Egyptian just fools the keeper. Matty Ryan went down to his left-hand side. He wasn't the greatest of Panenkas, but it does the job once again. The tale of the tape so far has been rather poor penalties getting away with it. Only Irvine's put in, and Saber put in excellent penalties after 3 each. Egypt have the advantage, and it's going to be Harrington up next for Australia. The 18-year-old who plays for the Colorado Rapids. Just his 6th game for the national team. He's been caught the eye of Barcelona. He put in some excellent challenge at the end to keep his side in it. Now he has to score a penalty. Right-footed, steps up, and he's hit the bar! He's hit the bar, and it is full advantage to Egypt. Pressure on the young shoulders of the centre-back, Lucas Harrington, and he can't handle it. And he hits the bar. The keeper guessed the right way. He wouldn't have got it, even if he'd stretched out the goalkeeper. And Chaubert hasn't had to do anything in this shootout. And Australia have missed 2 of their 4 penalties, which means if Egypt score this, they are through to the round of 16 for the 2nd time in their history and will win a knockout for the first time. And it's going to be pressure on Hossam Abdelmogeed, the Zamalek 25-year-old, who's going to come across to take this. He came on as a substitute in the second half. The Egyptians are already smiling. Germany and Paraguay are in this position where Paraguay it all had to go Germany's way in the last three, with Paraguay having to score. It ended up going Germany's way before, in sudden death, Paraguay saw themselves through. But Hossam here will want to avoid any of that stress against Mati Ryan for Egyptian history. Slow run up, right-footed, sends the keeper the wrong way. And Egypt have built a pyramid-sized piece of history in Dallas. The Pharaohs into the last 16, and for the first time in their history, they win a knockout game at this tournament. From chaos in Group G to a night that will stand tall for generations. Hossam Hassan's side, who have for generations, for 92 years, been the best African side, have finally taken a step on the biggest stage of them all. And Hossam Abdelmogeed is the man that's come up trumps. Australia missed two themselves, putting it over the bar from Suter and Harrington. Questions will be asked of why other forward players didn't step up to take penalties in their moments of need. The like of Rustics on the pitch. Ocon Engstelia, the midfielder as well. Toure didn't step up, leaving two defenders to take it. Egypt won't care. Australia are out. Egypt are through. It's finished. Australia won. Egypt won. Egypt win 4-2 on penalties. Good night.
Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page. Remember to check out FootMob's social channels on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and TikTok. Thank you for listening to FootMob's audio commentary. Be sure to check out player ratings, shot maps and more in-depth info on the match page.